There's violence on many sides. On many sides.
Many sides.
But it's funny because he's a Nazi sympathiser.
Fuck.
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome
Hello.
to Big Damn Cast. This week's edition is set in a world that we're not quite sure is real.
No.
But apparently it is.
Apparently this is the real world that we're living in, and everything is actually real and happening.
Yeah, but don't worry, we're here to talk about absolute bollocks and nonsense to keep your brains distracted for at least approximately an hour and 25 minutes or more.
It's going to be closer to 2 hours because Chris is on the podcast.
That is very true, ladies and gentlemen.
Like always.
I am a wax replica of Robert E. Lee rightfully melting.
And I am known as Big Brown Beaver.
Classy. Coming up this episode, we're going to be chatting a wee bit about some of the new Star Wars developments, including its tiny, big-eyed pals.
Ooh.
We're going to have a little wank lyrical about the Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy, because now I've seen one of the Planet of the Apes, mother lovers!
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to delve into that a little bit and give them a simian send-off. We're going to read out some of your emails, and of course, we're definitely going to talk about Pickle Rick!
Pickle Rick!
But
yeah.
First something a little bit less. Jovial.
Yeah, some sad news has come out of the production of Deadpool 2. Rather sadly, on Monday gone, as you listen to this, stunt rider S.J. Harris was killed in a motorcycle stunt gone wrong. It's currently under investigation. Apparently, it's been stated that she'd run the stunt about 4 times perfectly, and the 5th time, something went wrong, and just... Yeah, I had a crash, and
it's unfortunately is a risk of the job. I mean, obviously every possible thing is done to minimise risk, but a stunt performer's career is to put themselves in a form of danger.
Yeah.
For a performance. So it's never 100% risk-free stunt performing. And unfortunately, this is just one of those times where it seems circumstances got out of control. Again, it's still under investigation, so we don't know the full scale, but it was left to Ryan Reynolds as one of the film's producers, as well as Deadpool himself, to put a brief statement out on Twitter when the news broke, just to let everybody know that what had happened and that they were going to look into it and find out more. But obviously, our thoughts go out to Harris's family and friends and to the colleagues and everyone in the movie too, because that is not a pleasant thing to sort of be a part of in any way.
And it just goes to show how dangerous the work that people put into these kind of movies that entertain us so gleefully, how dangerous that work is, and I just, we just need to take some time every now and again, preferably not just when someone dies, but, more often to just turn around to say thank you to these people and salute them for the work they do. But yeah, S.J. Harris, we salute you, and thoughts and prayers to your families. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Anyway.
From the horrors of planet Earth.
From the horrors.
To a galaxy far, far away.
Hey!
Star Wars The Last Jedi has been putting out details and bits and bobs again recently.
Yeah, the hype machine started spinning up on that again.
Yeah, I'm sure we're due another trailer by now.
We've got to be. It's out in December, so...
Yeah, because unlike Force Awakens, this one has saved all of its marketing for the 6 odd months up to release, whereas Force Awakens sort of gave us a pocket of something every now and then over the course of a year and a half.
I got a pocket full of sunshine.
Well, you might have a pocket full of Porgs.
Oh my
because
days.
The creatures that share Luke's island retreat.
Not the only creatures that share Luke's
Not
island
the only
retreat.
ones, but they've been revealed. The others are called, I'm trying to remember what they've been named as now, but they're basically the caretakers of the island.
Acto? No, the planet's Acto.
I
can't remember.
I'm Akato, you're Akato, we're all Akato.
But yeah, they're basically like big walking whales, and they don't like Luke very much.
Yeah. So, great place to set up shop, Luke. Is that what Jedi do when they go into exile? I'm going to live somewhere where the local wildlife are tribal creatures that hate me.
Is Luke a Jedi technically though? Still, we don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah, he's trained as Jace, the last Jedi Master.
I mean, there's images of him in the posters with his green lightsaber, so he's apparently still got that.
Oh,
so that's
sweet.
something.
But the Porg are the ones that have got fans in a state of confused, mostly uproar.
Why?
I was so surprised, but people are hating these things.
People don't like cute things in Star Wars, do they?
That's the thing. I mean, we weren't around to witness it the first time around.
The Ewoks.
The whole Ewok.
Yeah, because I first watched that film when I was a kid, and I thought the Ewoks were... I wasn't in love with them, but I thought
they
were
were
fine.
odd as a kid watching them. But that was because the first third of the movie's so dark, and the creatures in that are so grubby and scary. And
even now, as an adult watching Return of the Jedi, the Ewoks don't bother me at all.
No, I can see why people would be like, "That's a bit jarring." Like what? But it's one of the few things that George Lucas really steered that I get why he did it. Because the Star Wars movies are ultimately just waiting for people to blow their lid unnecessarily in 3, 2, 1 children's movies.
Hang on.
Wait.
That's the mobs outside. They're all angry.
They can be enjoyed by families, obviously, and adults don't have to have kids to enjoy the movies and watch them.
I love the Star Wars movies.
But they're definitely aimed at kids. Kids are the main...
Oh, God, yeah. They're space adventure movies.
And what is more cool than the Empire being snuffed out by something it never would have even thought twice about? I think that was his intent, from what I know.
It's a Vietnam War thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the technologically superior invaders being defeated by guerrilla tactics and lower technology, natives.
The Empire was so smug and sure of themselves, they never once even considered that, a little tribe like the Ewoks.
No one would have believed in the last years of the Empire.
Oh, God. Yeah, nub. But that's the thing, they set up the station on Endor and everything, because they're like, no one's going to get to it here, we'll have a security station and no one's going to bother it and no one's going to disrupt our stuff. They're like, what about the local wildlife? They're like, they're teddy bears. Just shoot them. It's easy, don't worry about it. They didn't once think that these things would be like, nope, we're going to take you down.
Kill the shooty teddy bear thing.
Obviously it takes, Leia and Luke and Han's arrival and that to kind of spur them into full-on action, but it's
Yeah, before that they were just going to eat them.
Yeah.
That's the thing people forget about the Ewoks. They were going to eat the heroes.
Yeah.
They probably ate some of those stormtroopers.
There's a reason there are scattered helmets lined up in a row.
So...
Nope, they're all celebrating. Do you think they're all celebrating, and Luke and Leia and all that are off to the side celebrating too, and that's when I'm sure at some point C-3PO would lean over and be like, you do realise that when they've finished eating the stormtroopers, they're going to eat you. So they all just spent the rest of the night smiling, nodding, and slowly dancing backwards.
They're eating them, and then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Wicket 2.
That's on YouTube. That's on Netflix. I should probably get around to watching it at some point.
It's probably on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And then follow it up with the movie called Best Worst Movie, which is...
I've seen that. I've seen that. I've not seen Troll 2. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Speaking of trolls, Porgs. Porgs are these tiny little creatures with massive frickin'... They're basically if penguins were Furbies without beaks.
Yeah, basically.
That's what they are. They're these little penguin-sized, penguin waddling things without beaks, little hamster mouths, big old... there's those teddy bears that have just got big eyes.
Big brown eyes. They're, apparently...
they sort of flock around the island.
Ryan Johnson was saying that they're kind of inspired by the pelicans that nest on Skellig Michael in real life.
Now, I think if that was just simply it, people wouldn't have a problem. But it's the pictures of one of them in the Falcon's cockpit and things like that.
That's fine.
But I've got people going, oh God, are they going to bring a cute sidekick along with them?
Just Chewbacca's pet. Or maybe it's a snack, I don't know.
Hey everybody, R2-D2, BB-8.
Oh yeah, exactly.
These films have cute sidekicks. I'm sure a lot of people might have found R2-D2 annoying when the first movie came out. Most people find him endearing, but I guess there'd probably have been people what's that whistling robot? So annoying.
Yeah, some people are idiots though.
Who probably by now though they're like, oh, I love R2-D2. So it's just wait.
You know why they love R2-D2? Because R2-D2's great.
R2-D2 is the single greatest dustbin-shaped character in all of fiction.
That's true. He is.
I was trying to think if there was another one. No, that's true. He's the greatest dustbin-shaped character in all of fiction.
Yeah. There are other dustbin-shaped characters. He is the greatest, though.
Yeah, he is the best around, nothing's ever going to keep him down.
He is also round.
Yes.
And he does have rockets, so nothing can keep him down.
That's true. And he does apparently have a load of weaponry inside him that I imagine he was reprogrammed to forget he has. At some
No,
point.
he doesn't actually have any weapons. He improvises all his weapons in the prequels.
He does in his CGI.
He's not like
glory.
BT-1 from the comics, who is full of weapons.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's an artillery droid disguised as an
did I
astromech.
tell you I read Vader Down?
Oh, you read Vader Down?
Vader
Yeah.
Down is so
It's
great.
very good.
Oh my god, especially
we'll have to talk
especially
about
when
the Star
like the
Wars
droids
one.
kind of meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
And
odd.
it once again implies that it's a good job you can't hear what R2's saying because he has a spectacularly foul mouth.
Well, hopefully people will give the foul-mouthed Porgs a chance.
I think it's a cute space creature, like, what's the problem?
No, but that's
It's
the
fine.
problem.
They're going to sell fucking tons of them. So many plushy Porgs. It's fine.
They look like Funkos already.
Yeah, they look like they have been made to be marketed. Like, that's fine. Whatever.
Tailor-made to fun the co.
If we've got a problem with marketing, then what are we doing? Going and watch a Star Wars movie? Like,
Very true.
it's like, come on.
Well, when it comes to integrity in
Integrity.
storytelling, some would say that it's kind of insulting to bring characters back from the dead.
Depends on the context and the rules of the universe.
That's very true. But spoilers for Netflix Jessica Jones Series 1.
If you honestly, if you haven't watched Jessica Jones Series 1 yet, Defenders comes out the same day as this podcast comes out on YouTube. Just go and watch Jessica Jones Series 1. We'll wait because it's that good.
3, 2, 1. David Tennant is returning to Jessica Jones Season 2 as Kilgrave.
Apparently.
Well, he is.
He is, definitely.
There's a
It's
set
been
photo
confirmed
of
now.
him now. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a set photo of him. He's in a purple suit. He's clean shaven.
Oh.
He stood next to Kristen Ritter. They posed for the photo. David Tennant is in Season 2 of Jessica Jones, which is funny because one of the final scenes of Jessica Jones Series 1 was Jessica snapping his neck.
Well, it's just such a snappable neck. You would, wouldn't you?
Arguably the second greatest villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far.
Yeah, all right.
Kingpin, come on, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Wilson Fisk,
Yeah.
then Kilgrave, then Loki circa Avengers Thor the Dark World.
What about Vulture? Vulture's pretty good.
I'd stick Vulture in fourth place.
I don't think it's the greatest, though.
I stick Vulture in fourth place, and I would whack Yellow Jacket in fifth.
What about...
Because Corey What's-His-Face looked like he was having a ball
Corey
in that man,
Stoll.
and I
He's
hated
great.
him, which was the point. He was
Yeah.
meant to be detestable. He was great.
I really like Corey Stoll.
He's one of the few villains in this was just like, I'm going to murder you because you're annoying me.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That's not cool.
Anyway,
but that was cool.
We're getting so far off topic.
Kilgrave was dead. Now people are going, oh god, did they brought... I guess they had to confirm he's in it because they were filming outdoors.
Yeah, that's the problem with like set reports and stuff nowadays. Is you can't
Yeah.
keep anything a secret.
Yeah, which is so annoying. But so he was outdoors. So they've confirmed that he's in it, and there he is in purple. There's all the subtle tartan in the suit and everything. It looks great as usual. And everyone's going, "How's he in it?" Now there's some theories doing the rounds online. Some people think he's been brought back from the dead, maybe something to do with the hand. A la
Possible.
Elektra, end of Daredevil season 2. Spoiler
Possible.
alert for that, and the fact that she's in the Defenders.
It appears like her coming back from the dead is the main
Plot
one of the main plot points of the Defenders.
like enemy of the state kind of stuff,
Oh, yeah.
but with Elektra, which should be very cool. Well,
That-
just
without-
early Elektra.
Without
stuff,
spoiling
but-
it, there is some stuff at the end of season of Iron Fist that points in that direction. I've still got 2 episodes to go of Iron Fist. I'm not rushing it because it's god awful.
Well, by the time you guys are hearing this,
I'll have finished it.
I'll have finished
and
it.
we'll be probably have watched Defenders.
Yeah.
So
Put it this way: spoiler alert for next week. It's gonna be about the Defenders.
oh yeah,
so
yeah. Sorry, in case you didn't know, we're going to talk about the Defenders next week.
Give you a week to watch it so you can get ready. For
There's
some
only 8
spoiler chat.
episodes. You've got no excuse. I'll be watching it in one day.
Oh god, yes. So people are thinking maybe he's been brought back to life. Kilgrave's small fry for the hand. They would have no need for him. They wouldn't trust him enough to like use him, even if they had a plan for him. Some people are saying maybe he's alive, like maybe he didn't die. No, that noise,
That
shot,
neck looked pretty fucking snapped
his
to
neck
me,
is-
son.
When someone with super strength snaps your neck,
It stays snapped.
it stays snapped. The most popular theory, and I hope this one's the true one, based on how in Series 1, before we even meet him, she's having, like, hallucinations
It's PTSD, basically.
Yeah, it's PTSD for a man who freaking like controlled her for I think in the TV series it's like a couple of weeks, isn't it? But it's like who just someone's that in your head that you're doing everything they say, like she's in shock.
It's like, abuse. It is. I mean, that's what the whole series is about. That first series is about surviving abuse. Now,
it would be weird if suddenly series 2 was just a detective show and didn't carry over some of the themes. Yeah. So the most popular theory doing the rounds is Kilgrave is either going to be in a couple of sort of trauma flashback-esque moments like in series 1. Yeah. Or what I'm hoping for is some Arkham Knight style imaginary friendship.
Yeah, that was pretty effective in Arkham Knight.
I would love the hell out of that if he not in every scene. But if every now and again...
He just pops up.
There he is in her head. Yeah. Visible to her where she is. Because what would be the creepiest way for him to die? Just to die? Maybe. That would be kind of creepy for the man who gets in your head to just suddenly disappear. It's like, oh god, well he's gone. Like, killing him did it. I became a monster to kill a monster.
But I don't think that's... Yeah.
Slightly creepier would be that sort of post-hypnotic suggestion... Because it'd be a mix of sort of the hypnosis sort of stuff and trauma.
Yeah.
He's there in her head. He's part of her psyche. And maybe she'll be able to push him out. Maybe that's her story out of this series is to sort of finally get rid of that legacy for good. And clean herself of it. And clear, of
that's a Jessica Jones story I'd watch, yeah.
That would be awesome. Plus, it's a great way to keep around a villain that everybody adored, but definitely had a definitive story arc.
Yeah.
So that way, you're not bringing Kilgrave back, but you're telling another story with Kilgrave.
I'm wondering if there's any real precedent in the Marvel Universe for bringing characters back from the dead. We're doing it with Elektra.
In the MCU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coulson.
Loki's had a fake-out death.
Yeah.
You could argue that a couple of characters have had fake-out deaths, but it's more just the way it's shot.
I don't think there's any real death is cheap in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Not yet, no. There's not been any, even in the films, there's not been any resurrection, has there?
Not really.
Well, Bucky Barnes, but it wasn't oh no, you thought that character you loved was dead, but now he's alive. It was that character that meant a lot to the main character.
Yeah.
He's back, but he was never dead. We did stuff to him.
Yeah, so it's another fake-out death, is it?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm just excited to see David Tennant continuing on in the MCU, making him now be 2 of Disney's ongoing characters now.
Yes.
Because DuckTales has started in the US.
Woohoo!
Have you seen the new theme song?
No.
It's just a modern, redoing of it.
So exactly how it should be then.
Yeah, people going, oh, hey, it's not the same as the original. It's like, yeah, but if they just play the original, then what would be the point? It's a new series.
Give it a bit of zhuzh.
Sounds nice. It's like a Disney Mania album cover version of the original. It sounds fine. It sounds good. But David Tennant, back on Jessica Jones. Awesome sauce.
I'm happy with this.
Now, speaking of things that come back...
the crabs?
You said you wouldn't say it aloud. I was hoping that they wouldn't be able to hear the
I've been
scratching
taking my syphilis pills. The rash has gone away.
But the crabs are here to stay.
Crabs are here to stay.
They formed a pube union.
Oh no. My warts! My warts!
One of the greatest franchises of all time, and that's it's not up for debate. They created action figure culture. They were the first one to go from a movie series to a TV series. Yeah, it's had one remake that could have killed it forever, and then came back from the dead, better than ever before.
Yes. That last part's definitely true.
And The Simpsons turned it into a musical for a gag. That makes it one of the greatest franchises of all time. Planet of the Apes, mother lovers, came back with... vengeance is the wrong word. Came back with a attempt at a peaceful coexistence.
Step.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
Last month with War for the Planet of the Apes, which Matt reviewed a few episodes ago, non-spoilery. I've now seen the bugger. You should have now seen the bugger. If you have seen it, don't worry about it. If you haven't seen it and do want to see it, and don't want it spoiled, maybe go away at this point for a bit. If you're not fuzzed either way, stick around.
We're going to spoil them for you.
Let's have a little chat about Planet of the Apes, man. When did you first find out about Planet of the Apes in general?
In general,
What was your
I've
first
been watching...
contact?
Again, my dad being a sci-fi guy as he was, and growing up, being born in the 60s, so growing up around, like, the syndication of those movies and stuff on TV, I was introduced to that stuff fairly early. And, you know, I was familiar with the TV series being on reruns. The movies were, like, quite regular Sunday evening, Channel 4 sci-fi movie fare. So, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, particularly.
That's the second or third
That's
one?
the third one.
Yeah.
Because
that's what some of our younger listeners might not know. It was a thing.
Yeah.
Originally. The version that's out now is the second reboot.
Yeah.
The version that's out now is the Casino Royale Daniel Craig version of it. In that it could be a prequel to the original until you pay attention, then you go, no, it's a new thing. It's a new thing. So you grew up, like, watching... Did you have, like, the videos and stuff? Or...
They were just on TV a lot. So, yeah, I just became sort of familiar with them by osmosis. And my dad had a couple of old, like, Planet of the Apes magazines from when it had its own, like, magazine series, and a couple of Planet of the Apes annuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just became familiar with it just through it being sort of around.
Look, it's the reason Star Wars is how Star Wars is. George Lucas, like, did the marketing and all that, you know, merchandise stuff using Planet of the Apes as his template.
And also Star Wars was on every Christmas when I was a kid. Or
Yeah,
one of the movies was on every Christmas when I was a kid.
That too.
Because I had the VHSs recorded it with it, because during the broadcasts, they'd put a scroll on the bottom for, like, charity donations. So you'd be watching Star Wars over Christmas, filling yourself with your turkey.
Yeah.
And then you just, like, get the donation, like, you can call this number to donate to charity because you're enjoying Star Wars so much. So
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
What a humdinger.
So and Planet of the Apes are the same. Like, I feel like there was a Planet of the Apes movie on every Sunday afternoon on Channel 4 when I was growing up, and there probably wasn't, but it just felt like that because they were on so much.
How many are in that original series? 5 or 6?
I'm just looking it up to fact check now. I believe
I think it's 6.
Let's see if I can do this without bringing it up first.
Okay.
I believe it's Planet of the Apes.
Right.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the second one.
Yeah.
Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Conquest of the Planet for the Apes.
Yes.
And then Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, so 5.
I believe.
That would be 5. Based on the original series of movies.
I think that's 5. Then there was a series.
Yeah, there was a cartoon series.
And there was a live action series.
Yeah, the cartoon show was Return to the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And the live action series was called...
I think it was just called Planet of the Apes.
That would make sense.
I think.
That would make sense, to be fair.
Oh, I was so right.
You get it right?
Yeah.
Boom! There you go.
So the original novel, Planet of the Apes, or it was French originally, it's called Le Planète des Singes by Pierre Boulet.
Yes, that famous ape historian.
We got Planet of the Apes in 1968, Beneath the Planet of the Apes in 1970, Escape from the Planet of the Apes in 71, Conquest in 72, and Battle in 73.
Okay.
Planet of the Apes remake in 2001.
Yep, the Tim Burton atrocity!
It's so bad.
With wonderful visual makeup. Absolutely stunning visual makeup.
Oh god, like the
costume
effects are
work.
incredible.
But
it's gash
it's
movie.
Tits.
It is not good.
It's utter tits. Dr. Zaya says damn them all to hell.
It's not tits, because tits are great.
There are monkey tits in it, though.
Are there?
Yeah. Well, they're sort of loosely covered. There's that weird bit where the big one's getting a lap dance, basically, from the one sat on top of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Marky Mark's wandering around being like, I'm Charlton Heston.
We also got the
whilst Charlton Heston's made up like Dr. Zayas going,
yeah.
Damn you all to hell.
Damn you all
It's
to
like,
hell.
that's not your line! Well, it's your line, but it's not... Damn it! Gun-wielding maniac.
Planet of the Apes, the TV series in 74, and Return to the Planet of the Apes, this is the cartoon series in 75. Mm-hmm. I think that's the right way around.
Yeah, 75 for Return.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes TV series.
And then...
It's only 14 episodes. The original TV series.
Well, some animated series that are fondly remembered were only brief, weren't they? Like
The
Star Trek
live action one
series
was only 14 episodes.
Yeah.
The how long did it run? I can't see how long the animated one ran.
And then we skip ahead after 2001 to 2012?
2011.
2011?
The continuity reboot Rise of the Planet of the Apes, then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then this year we got War for the Planet of the Apes.
My introduction to Planet of the Apes was a bit different. I was vaguely aware of the original film, but I don't remember if it's because I saw it or because of cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
Because
it's like that, isn't it?
Because for years, when I thought Planet of the Apes, the first thing that came into my head was references on The Simpsons. So, child of the 90s, watching a lot of The Simpsons, Planet of the Apes was clearly a very big favourite film for that writing staff, because there are so many Planet of the Apes jokes in the first 8 years of The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Most infamously, of course, being the Troy McClure musical "Stop the Planet of the Apes, I Want to Get Off." Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, like that whole. Oh my god! I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. It's just so good.
Oh, I remember when The Simpsons was really, really good.
First 8 seasons. There it is. First 8 seasons, some decent episodes in season 9 and 10. After that, there's a brilliant essay video specifically about mathematically when it starts to decline, based on the writing staff and guest treatments and things like that. It's fascinating. But yeah, pretty much shortly after Conan O'Brien and Josh Weinstein left the show, that's when it started to decline. But in fact, they pinpoint the exact episode is the Principal and the Pauper. Is where the decline begins. The one with Armand Tamzarian, the reveal that Principal Skinner was never actually Principal Skinner, because it suddenly shat on everything you thought of, and treated it like it was flippant and plot of the week.
I think my girlfriend finally checked out of The Simpsons. She quite likes The Simpsons. She finally checked out of it when there was an episode about how Moe's Bar Rag became Moe's Bar Rag.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But Planet of the Apes was something they used to like Halloween specials, like the one with the Collector, for example. You got Doctor Who references and references. There's one of the apes is in one of the shrink wraps and everything. They lovingly pastiche it. And then as I grew up, sort of late kid into early teens, my dad specifically started to get me to the Mel Brooks movies, and of course Spaceballs. The ending of Spaceballs parodies the ending of Planet of the Apes. For those listeners too young to genuinely know what we're talking about, because I wouldn't be surprised if a few of you genuinely had no idea. The main story of Planet of the Apes is Charlton Heston's astronaut character crash lands on a planet after being in stasis in his shuttle for a while. And he lands on the planet and is immediately captured by apes on horseback. And essentially this is a planet where the dominant species are simian. They're ape people in armor with cultures and an empire and armies and hierarchy and all this, and they keep as pets / slaves these sort of humans, these really sort of dumbed down humans. They're like cave people. They look, they don't look like cavemen and cave women. They've not got the features, but
they can't really speak.
They can't really speak, and they're essentially the human version of what we see monkeys as. Yeah. There's intelligence there, but they're limited to certain functions and everything, and he basically sort of leads a mini revolution and manages to get him out of there after sort of tangling with the inner workings.
Well, he at least escapes with Nova anyway.
Yeah, by the end, and you're like, oh my god, they got out. Okay, the film's coming to an end. I wonder how it's going to end. And as they hit the beach,
for some R&R, a little bit of sun,
he sees protruding out of the sands the arm and the raised torch arm and part of the head, the crown of the Statue of Liberty.
It's such a famous twist ending that at least one version of the DVD has it as its cover.
Yeah, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Now, the thing is, I knew about that twist ending before I ever saw the movie.
I think most people do now,
cultural osmosis. It's the I See Dead people of the 60s.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. And it's the no, I am your father of the 60s. And it's really freaking stupid that it's ruined, because I'm sure there'll be people who wouldn't know. Apologies if you've never seen it and you were going to watch it, but you kind of need to know about it if you're going to proceed to listen to what we're going to talk about. But it's like, because there's other subtle hints, isn't there, in the film about there being a prehistory and everything on the planet that
it's been so long since I've watched any of the
humans
original Apes
having
movies.
had a higher place in society and stuff in the past and all this. Until one day they stopped talking probably and all this stuff. And you suddenly realise at the end of the movie, no, he hasn't landed on a distant planet. He's landed back home. He's been in stasis for so long that when he's crash landed back on Earth, it's been 300 years.
Longer than that.
Longer than that, and shit has changed.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's explained in that first or even the second or third, really what's happened. You just assume that it's kind of like an evolutionary reversal, apes have started to evolve and have surpassed us, and we've devolved.
I think he assumes that there's been some kind of nuclear war.
Because at the end he goes, "You blew it up."
Yeah, and then you find out in the sequel that there was indeed a nuclear war.
But because that wasn't the main, that was a big contributing factor.
Yeah,
but that wasn't why the ape kind started and
the
humankind started to devolve. Because in it's the last two, isn't it?
Conquest and Battle.
Yeah. Caesar, who is one of the ape characters, ends up. I'm sure it's Caesar in that one.
It's Caesar.
Yeah.
Who, get ready for this?
Yeah.
Is the son.
Yeah.
Of a couple.
Yeah.
Who escaped on Taylor's ship.
Yeah.
In the first film.
Yeah.
They escaped from the planet during the second film and went back in time to before the apes started becoming intelligent.
Roughly to the 70s, 80s kind of setting. Yeah.
And their son, Caesar,
yeah,
then goes on to lead the ape uprising after humanity's population is decimated and they start using apes as slave labour.
All played by Malcolm McDowell as well throughout those movies as well.
And then in Battle, then it's
it's the turning of the tide. Yeah. So in those movies,
after man has more or less been wiped out.
And I remember the first time I heard about that, I was like, "That's ridiculous! Why is there time travel halfway through the series?" And then I remembered the series opens with time travel.
Yeah, it opens with time travel.
It opens with time travel happening in the right order. Because, it's just someone being asleep for ages and then waking up, but it's about time travel.
But then also,
so that makes sense.
The second movie ends with that planet being destroyed.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the beginning at the end of Battle.
Yeah.
Leading into what will become Planet of the Apes, but then there's the suggestion that hopefully they can do it differently this time around.
Yeah. So basically, planet covered in apes, and you find out, throughout the course of it, that they caused it through a time travel paradox. So when they said the Planet of the Apes happens in 2001, load of bullshit, like we said, visually impressive, really dumb. Especially the ending. Their attempt to sort of provide a different twist is so stupid. Because the twist is an attempt to also remake the time travel plot from the rest of the series. Because it's like him and another one are racing back in time, and the ape obviously got there first and earlier in the time stream, because when Marky Mark gets back, apes are already in charge in his day and age. It's just so stupid. There is a memorial and that crap, which in itself was a rip-off of a Jay and Silent Bob comic. Oh my god!
Anyone who knows me knows that I would never read a comic, especially not one written by Kevin Smith.
Yeah, which is pretty obvious because of fucking Batman.
But no,
even with Kevin Smith, watch it. It's fucking fascinating.
There's a different twist ending in the book.
Right. Oh, hit
so
me.
in the book,
this is Les Planètes of
le planète des singes.
Singes,
which is the monkey planet.
Okay.
In French, not Planet of the Apes. Sound is monkey. So the framing device in the book is two scientists finding the story in as a message in a bottle in space.
Okay.
And at the end of the framing device, so at the end of the story, he escapes from the planet and returns to Earth, but during the time it's taken to get back, Earth's been taken over by apes as well. So it's not the same planet.
Oh, so it's like a twin planet.
Yeah.
And the history's repeated itself back on Earth.
Well, it's not that he He's not on Earth.
Yeah. Like, the Planet of the Apes in the book, the Monkey Planet, is a different planet.
Yeah.
But by the time he's got back home, the same events that happened on that planet have happened on Earth.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, apes have become the dominant species and overridden humanity.
However,
the
scientists reading the story are then revealed to be apes themselves.
Because of course, like, unless they tell you that, you're not gonna know.
And after they finish it, they, as I quote, they scoff at the notion that a human would ever be that intelligent.
So there's still a twist in the book, but it's a different twist. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So the series sort of kind of has a reputation for having big twists and everything, then, I guess.
Yeah, it's a part of the DNA of the series, if you will. And, it's not really something that's been carried over into the modern reboot trilogy.
Now.
Because they're basically telling a straight-up origin of what I guess is going to be...
Well, that's the
Planet of
thing.
the Apes.
If you'd never seen any of the sequels, but you knew about the main story of Planet of the Apes, watching Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you'd be like, oh, so this is how it starts. But here's the thing. It isn't a prequel to Planet of the Apes. Even though it was, like, that was what it was when it started.
They do mention
the
astronauts.
They set up Planet of the Apes, but this isn't a prequel to the original Planet of the Apes.
No, it's clearly a new continuity.
Yeah.
I don't think it was... I think the script originally wasn't a Planet of the Apes prequel.
It was always referred to as a prequel to Planet of the Apes. Like, they kept calling it a prequel to Planet of the Apes and everything. And it was that sort of belief of, like, are we doing a James Bond where it's just like...
No, I think when the script was originally in development, like, it was originally a different script.
Yeah.
Which then was retooled into a Planet of the Apes prequel.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong about that.
It was going to be about... probably what happens in the end credits. It was going to be about like a carrion, a disease that
I don't know.
Spreads.
Like
I'm sure I've heard that too.
Yeah. I'm double checking that, but carry on.
So it comes out and it's sort of it was done as a prequel in that the mid to late 2000s and early 2010s. We still didn't really all get the notion of a redo. Like, it only happened a couple of times before in cinema. Batman Begins was one. Casino Royale was another. Like, this is Bond, but this time we're scrapping everything. Everything else that's happened hasn't happened.
It was the early to mid 2000s, which you then throw out the window with Skyfall.
Well, sort
and then throw back in the window with Spectre.
Yeah, well, I think Skyfall sort of got away with it because it was more cheeky nods to the franchise.
And it was an anniversary movie, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it's
Oh yeah. So the most ironic part. So the first script wasn't written
as a Planet of
the Apes movie.
Prequel,
It was like a sort of a sci-fi horror movie about the dangers of people raising apes as pets, and like what will become Caesar was like an evil ape and talked in sign language and was like.
I'm so glad that they changed that because that character's a lot better for it.
People raising apes as pets and then those pets turning on them.
Okay,
so it wasn't a Planet of the Apes movie at all. It was just apes.
And then at some point, the studio have gone, hang on. We have the rights to the Planet of the Apes franchise.
Let's make this Planet of the Apes prequel and retooled it into what became Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
And the script writers are probably like, no, don't leave our baby alone. And it's turned into a really solid trilogy of movies, so don't worry about it.
That Rise of the Planet of the Apes was really good.
It was
and I was skeptical about it.
Did we see it together? We might have done.
Not Rise. No, we didn't see anything together, I don't think.
I don't think. For some reason, I know. We might not have done because our cinema of choice was. Sorry, our cinema of choice was the one in Hammersmith, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think I saw it at the View in Westfield. So now we
if we saw it at the View, we might have seen it together.
You think? Because it was like early summer 2011, wasn't it?
So I would have been living in Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Maybe.
When was it? When was the release?
2011.
No. What month? Do we have a...
It would have been a summer movie, yeah.
Yeah, so it would have been early summer, so I was still living in London. So we might have seen it together, but
we might have seen it together, yeah.
I just remember with that one going in thinking like, I'm curious more than anything. Like, I like Andy Serkis. I like what he's done with performance capture, and I'm intrigued to see him play... Because the trailers sort of made it out to be that there was going to be kind of a chaos element in the movie, but Caesar wasn't it. Like, the trailers did make a big point of being like,
Yeah.
No, Caesar is a very sort of quiet performance. So I was like, I'm interested to see what goes on with this. I had no expectations. I came out absolutely adoring it. I really like Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Like I pre-ordered it like not long before its Blu-ray release. So I was like, I want to watch that again.
Yeah. And
I think I watched it on a flight as well. Later rewatched it on a flight because I was like, I want to watch it again. Well, I've got the option now. I'm going to do it. It's a great movie. So the basic premise is James Franco's character is a scientist who's working with sort of the kindest possible sort of form of animal testing. Like his guys take the approach of making sure that the animal that they work with is completely comfortable with everything that's happening. They're not fed a bunch of drugs. They're not. You find out that some of that stuff's happening in the company because trials are being forced into quicker. Like
I believe it's stuff. Like he eventually breaks off from that company because of all that shit that's happening.
Yeah, because he finds out that things are a lot more sinister than he signed on for. Because the work he's doing isn't about chemical stuff and cosmetics or anything like that. The work he's doing is working on brain patterns and brain development.
Well, he's trying to cure his father's Alzheimer's.
He's trying to find a cure or at least like a holdback for the escalation of Alzheimer's.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow, my favourite performance in the movie. I mean, Circus steals the movie.
Yeah.
But John Lithgow's performance in the movie is one of my favourite things about it.
Yeah,
because it's heartbreaking to watch. And Franco's great in it as well. Like I'm not a massive James Franco
guy. As much as we joke about James Franco and
he
what
does
he smells
look like he smells,
yeah, and I wish I knew what he smelled like. He is James Franco's pretty fucking good.
Weed and success,
and maybe a bit of piss.
Yeah, urine and academia.
Yeah, that's right.
Old dusty library books and slightly newer library books that have been dipped in piss.
As much as we rib on James Franco, I do like him as a performer, and I'm really looking forward to the Disaster Artist.
Line.
What is line?
What is line?
So good. But yeah, I mean, he's great in this. It's full of great actors, and
because that's the thing, it's just a personal story for them. But the joy of the performances is seeing things through Caesar's eyes.
Yeah,
like Caesar learns about the world and about family and about the harsh, terrifying reality of like, you know, nature in you know, as a part of humanity. Like the idea that, like, because isn't it, like they walk, oh my god, it's so weird to think, having just seen the third one, what Caesar is like in the first. Like they take him for walks and stuff, like, and let him off. You know, he's sort of on like a toddler's like tether, and they let him off, and he goes off into the trees and exercises and everything, gets to like play and be himself and all this stuff. But at the same time, like, he's well trained in human habits and that, like he knows how to put a seatbelt on and get in a car and all these sort of things.
Because
and, like
the
make
drugs are making him more intelligent.
Yeah, the things he's testing with, he is getting smarter and more responsive. And John Lithgow and him have quite a nice relationship.
Yeah.
Because he sort of feels nurturing. He wants to look after John Lithgow's character. And he clearly loves Franco. And they have this beautiful... I'm going to bring this up now because I'm going to bring it up again for War. There's this beautiful little thing. There's basically like symbol of trust that they have where Caesar puts out his hand and Franco like sort of rubs the palm with two fingers. And they do that to each other as sort of like a sign of... Are you all right? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, come with me. I trust you. Like that kind of
Well,
thing.
they teach him sign language.
He
becomes fluent in sign language.
Yeah. And which, again, like as an actor as well, that's so freaking impressive. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you think about the difficulties of learning lines, but like, yeah, for this role, you've got to learn, if not just the stuff we need you to sign, you have to get a basic grasp of the entirety of sign language so that you look like you can naturally do sign language without having thought about it too much. So there's a lot that goes into these parts. But, like, the harshness of, like, him being taken away and put into basically, like, an ape sanctuary where they're just treated like shit. They're treated like, sort of abused farm animals.
Tortured by Draco Malfoy.
Yeah, and Brian Cox running this facility
where
Draco Malfoy spouts lines from the original movie.
So
Tom Felton does a damn good job
damn
at
dirty
trying
job
to make those lines work, but it's just too difficult. It feels like they're going, box ticked, We have reference to the franchise.
Get your mouth round these lines. They're really impossible to make sound good, but get your mouth round them anyway.
You should have Hestoned them. Just be like, it's
Get
a
your
madhouse.
Take your hands off me, you damn dirty ape!
What's beautiful about that moment is they then completely trump it by giving the film its first, that's a Rise of the Planet of the Apes moment.
Yeah.
When he just goes, no! And you go,
Caesar speaks.
Like, you'd shit yourself. It's like an hour and 40 minutes in, and suddenly Caesar says a word. And you're like, oh my god.
No, let us not forget. Apes can't speak English.
Yeah.
Not because they're not... real-life apes are probably intelligent enough to learn English, because a lot of them are intelligent enough to learn sign language. They can't speak English because of their vocal cords.
So Caesar has developed a way of doing it. And as the films go on, we learn that some apes are able to start to grasp it as well.
Well,
over time.
So
do they make reference to it like changing physiology?
The third film... So let's jump ahead to war for a moment.
Yeah, okay. Let's dip a toe in war before we round up Rise.
Yeah, because it might help to explain.
I feel like we should say these words, and then when we say them, they should fade, and then come back up in red font.
Yes.
And then fade away again. That was so dumb but brilliant.
So...
Another dumb but brilliant moment.
So what happens So basically, the end of Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a virus based on the Alzheimer drugs that made the apes smart that starts to kill people.
Yeah, which is done during the credits. I mean, that's a bold move.
And
the movie's like, our story is about Caesar and his relationships.
Well, one of the
and
scientists...
off he goes with the freed apes from the facility, and they're in the forest, and they're fine.
Well, one of the scientists gets infected during the movie, and you see him get sick and die.
And then the credit says, oh, by the way, P.S.
It starts
you're
spreading,
all gonna die.
Yeah.
It's like they remake Contagion over the end credits.
So... And then in
Still a
War,
better version of Contagion,
which is the latest movie, it's discovered that the virus has mutated again, and it started robbing humans their ability to speak. It's
regressing their biological sort of progression.
So you could infer from that it does change the structure of your vocal cords, so it enhances them for apes and diminishes them.
Yeah, although it's taken a while for it to happen to humans. It's sort of because in the second film you find out what the effects of the virus were like for a lot of people just died.
It was
and others became sick and their immune system was affected and stuff.
You see it in Rise. It's hemorrhaging from every area. It's basically a really nasty sort of hemorrhagic fever / flu. They call it simian flu.
Yeah.
So
we just got a laugh in the cinema the other day when that came up with the subtitles at the beginning. People were like, ha ha ha! I was like, no, that's what it's called.
Simian flu.
It just sounds silly. It sounds silly.
But then in the third one, there's also the Woody Harrelson general character seems to believe that it robs you of your higher faculties. But then from what we see of the humans who've lost the ability to speak, that doesn't necessarily ring true. It's
possible that it makes you less cognitive.
But Nova clearly starts to learn sign language, and he's clearly switched on up top.
Yeah. She has regressed to a point, but other things have advanced.
Yeah, and with the blood from the mouth that they get from it, it seems to imply that it's just a physical change to the vocal cords rather than a mental cognitive change that removes their grasp of language.
Then again, maybe it does affect the brain at first, as part of the initial sort of sickness.
Yeah.
Because Nova's the only character we see in the third one who does live beyond a few hours. When we meet her, she's obviously had it for a while because she's basically been kept in quarantine under the watch of one soldier.
Yeah.
Probably because he's been told to kill her, because we never find out really what happened there. But I assume that maybe he'd been told to kill her
and went rogue,
and then just
he definitely deserted
there.
From the unit.
Yeah, because he's not in his military gear. He's armed, but he's not in his military gear.
But he's got the tap.
Yeah, so he's obviously decided, no, I'm going to take a little girl, I'm going to look after her.
Yeah.
Whereas the other characters that we see with it all die shortly after it starts to affect them. And they do seem to be a bit stunned. Like the soldier who's dying in the snow doesn't seem to be, I'm not saying he seems to be thick, but he's obviously not in a position where we can really tell.
Yeah, because he's been shot.
But then, again, spoilers from War for the Planet of the Apes if you hadn't figured out.
Yeah.
But then, the Colonel at the end of the movie,
yeah,
he does seem to have sort of mentally regressed a bit. You can see the pain on his face.
And
the fear that this has happened to him.
I didn't feel that
the willingness
so much as it was frustration.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because I think the way they show him, the first thing you see him doing at that moment is like trying to grab the bottle.
Yeah,
and it does look like he's not quite physically able to.
Maybe.
At first, I was like, is he drunk?
He's definitely drunk.
Yeah, but then I was wondering whether or not it's more like, oh god, no, maybe because it might be temporary. It might just be that at first you're like, oh, it just overwhelms
Disorienting,
you,
yeah.
and then obviously it settles in because it's obvious that it doesn't kill you.
Yeah,
like it isn't killing them anymore. It's just fucking with them.
But also
with the system, because everyone has like the profuse nosebleed at first, so that would probably screw with your head a bit, and then you kind of level out because Nova is a bit.
But she's also a child.
She's distant, but she's also a child, and she also feels like no one's like on her side. And then obviously she becomes part of the family. We'll get back to Nova and the human stuff. In a bit. But so Rise of the Planet of the Apes, like Franco's character's put in a really difficult position and everything, but there's a mass breakout's organised, and one of the apes, which is genuinely being abused, like he's the sort of the one who they kind of kick around and everything.
It's Koba.
Koba, who I didn't realise isn't played by Toby Kebbell.
Not in the first one,
no. Because Koba's only really in a few moments in the first film.
He's not a big
Although
character.
he gets that really freaking terrifying bit where the CEO guy's in the helicopter and it's dangling off the side of the bridge.
It's just a big trailer shot of him like grabbing the helicopter.
Yeah, and Koba just like pushes it and lets the guy die because he's like, that's the man in charge of the people who've been hurting me. Fuck you. Like it makes complete sense. But I remember on Smogcast they described it once. That first film, it's not really a rise of the Planet of the Apes. It's more a rise of a group of unruly apes on a bridge.
Yeah. Originally, it was just called. I remember when the first trailer started coming out, it was just called Rise of the Apes.
I remember that too, because when it first came out, I was very surprised. But then again, that it was called Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Like, I'm sure this was just called Rise of the Apes.
Yeah, I think the.
It's the franchise. It's the franchise.
The studio was nervous, I think, about people not realising it was a Planet of the Apes movie. So
I mean, it's using the font structure and everything. Like the reboot series has kept like the very famous font and title layout of the original movies.
Yeah.
But Rise of the Planet of the Apes, like it's if you in the style of Superman Returns, if you didn't like where that is a sequel technically to Superman 2, if you hadn't any knowledge of the Planet of the Apes movies after the first one, this could very easily be a prequel to the first one. Because there's the shuttle launches in the news.
Yeah. So,
like, they established that and everything. And that's just, like, little background information that the shot lingers on it for just a moment longer than it would normally, just to let you know, hey, guess what?
Hey.
That's Charlton Heston's character going up in space.
It's Taylor.
It's Taylor. On the news.
It's a madhouse.
Great movie, really freaking enjoyable. Not the horror sci-fi movie that was pitched originally, I guess.
Well, that wasn't a Planet of the Apes movie, yeah.
But it's not a horror. Like, there are some scary moments in it. But it's very much, and I think this.
Yeah, it turns out massive, powerful apes are pretty terrifying.
Yeah, but
when they're pissed
the
off.
film isn't played as a oh my god. It's, I think, especially the first and third, these movies are above anything else. They're a character study.
Yeah, that's what. So
the second one too, but the second one is a bit more action oriented.
I think that's why they've had a bit of appeal out and success outside of the normal genre fandom.
Yeah,
like, they've been
because these are movies that like people don't. These aren't tentpole blockbusters, like they aren't ranted and raved and praised to high heaven like by the masses, but they do business, like they do big business. So obviously there is a movie going audience out there going, we really like these movies.
Yeah.
What, there's a sequel? Let's go see it. And see it they did! I didn't see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes in cinemas. I caught it on Blu-ray.
I saw it in cinemas.
What were that like first time? How are you feeling going into that one? Because with me, circumstances meant I just missed it. It was 2014, wasn't it, that one?
Yes.
Yeah. I missed it, and I pre-ordered the Blu-ray as soon as the pre-order came up, because I was like, I want to watch that.
I was feeling pretty optimistic about it. Like, I remember really enjoying Rise, and I'd seen the trailers, and I was like, this is going to be pretty good.
Because Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was the trailer with Well, the imagery for the movie was very much, it was like Caesar and other apes, like with sort of face paint.
Yeah, sort of tribal markings.
The sort of the skull kind of mouth and everything, which makes a sort of a brief appearance at the start of the third one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember the three apes featured a lot on the marketing were Caesar, obviously.
Yeah.
Maurice, who is again an unsung hero of this series, is the big orangutan.
Yeah.
With a big old wide face.
Very gentle, very slow.
Yeah, he's the right hand man to
the wise man of the tribe.
Yeah, in the first movie he's just this really nice feature of it.
Yeah.
By the second movie he's very much established. Maurice was in the marketing a lot, and there were a shit ton of like posters and stuff of Koba. And that was freaky because you're looking at the thing, you're like, oh my god, that's Caesar, and he looks so stern, and I hope it. My feelings were, I hope he's all right.
Yeah.
Like, I hope Caesar's okay. Caesar doesn't deserve to be unhappy. He looks really angry and scared. Like, I hope he's all right. Maurice, yeah, it's that big cuddly orangutan. Can't wait to see him again. Oh shit, it's the terrifying one from the bridge. This movie, I think, is the only one out of the three that is kind of a sci-fi action-adventure movie, in that it has a very clear good guy, bad guy, and those caught in between.
And it's not the bad guy you'd expect.
Yeah.
Because it's not...
There is a human uprising.
Yeah, there's Gary
Oldman.
Oldman.
Resistance fighters. I think
Gary Oldman's like the leader of a group of survivors.
Yeah.
So they want to restore power to their settlement, but the dam's in the middle of the apes' territory, so they kind of have to work with the apes.
Yeah.
So you kind of expect the friction to come from there.
Yeah,
like
and the way it's played,
apes.
especially with Oldman's character, it could be either way. It could be that the apes we got to know in the last movie are the villains of this piece.
Yeah.
And because Gary Oldman's character is definitely a peaceful person who does not want conflict.
Yeah, he just wants to leave them alone.
Yeah.
The only reason that they have to talk to the apes is because they need to get to that.
And they do play that first like scene where he's kind of with them as like, oh my god, like they're the villain. Mm. But no, they're him too. They just look scarier and they're trying to back people the hell away.
And the villain of the piece it turns out to be Koba.
Yeah.
And yeah, him, and it's one of the great things about the series is it shows us how closely the apes mirror us.
Yes. And people with different ideologies.
Yeah, and it's his distrust of people because he was abused by people. Mm. His distrust of humans that leads him to sort of play off the Caesar and the humans against each other, and then
well, so isn't it? It's like apes not kill apes is what he says.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's very true, and I think Caesar backs up the rhetoric as well, but then like Koba turns it around and it's be like, apes not kill apes, but apes can kill people, and it's like, oh shit. There's that haunting freaking scene in that movie where Koba basically goes into the edges of the human settlement where they do have armed guards.
Yeah.
And he just plays like daftly monkey. Like he just shows up and it's eerie because you know what he's like. Suddenly he's acting like a circus monkey. He's like sort of bandying around and sort of doing silly tricks.
Yeah.
And it is really kind of like, it's a very funny performance. But it's so sinister because you're like, oh, what's he doing?
Yeah, he's clearly...
Why is he doing this? As soon as they get near, he freaking murders the living shit out of them and then takes their guns. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Lou is, she really doesn't like apes, chimpanzees in particular. They freak her out. She's okay with the first. It took her a while to watch the first movie, but she did, and she was like, I'm glad I watched it. Yeah. It's a good movie. She watched this one with me the first time I watched it, and she's like, I'm never watching that movie again.
Ooh.
I was like, really? She was like, yeah, that was terrifying. And Koba is the main problem.
Yeah, he's a nasty piece of work.
I'm still trying to convince her to come and see the third one, because I think she would be fine with the third one. Because there aren't any bad apes. More than that in a minute. With the third one, but yeah, like just the second one, it's a tense finish, and it basically ends with the hero versus villain moment where Caesar has to make a choice, and he fights off Koba and allows him to die. Like, I think he offers him a hand at the end, doesn't he? But like, it's this whole this is probably for the best. So Cobra dies at, Caesar's hands.
Yeah.
And the movie sort of ends in this awkward place where the humans are unsure of their future, but at least this settlement know, like, if we leave them alone, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Then we get the third movie. The third movie sort of suggests that no, humans aren't okay, and it's not because of what the apes are doing, it's because of what's already in motion.
Yeah.
So we get to War for the Planet of the Apes. Now, what I thought was interesting is James Franco's character is touched on in the second one and is seen in flashback.
Yeah. Can you find some video footage?
But it's not, well, he goes back to his house, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's that beautiful, it's like a mirrored shot of him sat like on the bed with the big circle window.
Yeah.
It's all smashed and overgrown, and it's just really like odd and poignant, because Matt Reeves only directed the second and third one.
Yes.
So he didn't direct the first one, but he recreates some of the shots from the first one in the attic.
Yeah.
So you kind of, your brain instantly goes, oh my god, this is where it was in the last one, and there was those lovely scenes where he was really happy, and oh my god, no. But like, there's no thing of Caesar realizes that he's never going to see them again.
Yeah.
So that doesn't motivate him going forward. Going forward, he just wants to protect the apes. Caesar noticeably ages over the 3 films.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what the time frame is, but I'd say probably about 20 years, maybe more.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's
enough for him to have had 2 children.
In the films,
enough for him to have had 2 children, and enough for him to have seen some shit. But obviously, by the second film, Caesar's vocabulary has expanded. Caesar is like sort of 70% talking like a human being in the second one. The third one, he's pretty much like talking is how he communicates. He still signs.
A lot of the apes sign, like very few of the apes talk.
Yeah, not many of them do. I mean, and even some that do don't. Like Maurice, I think
can talk.
He can talk, and I'm sure he talks in the second one at one point briefly as well.
But he doesn't. But he chooses not. Just signs.
Yeah,
I imagine I would imagine it's probably quite painful and difficult.
Yeah, like Caesar's the one who's had the sort of the changing ability, the changing in his like makeup and everything long enough, so it's something he can do
until you meet Bad Ape.
Oh, Bad Ape,
who they discover has had the is very very vocal, and
but with him he sort of learnt, like because of being surrounded by. I think
it's also implied that. Well, I mean, it's clearly the flu's changed him and made him more intelligent, but clearly it's also mutated him in the way that he's able to speak now.
Yeah, I think with him it's it might have been because I think there's an implication that emotion does affect the disease in ways, and with him he was terrified.
He was clearly abused.
Yeah,
it was a zoo animal,
and once the simian flu broke out, the moment any of the apes in his enclosure showed signs of changing themselves. Yeah. Like, obviously, certain staff... Because part of the simian flu was a load of people died.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone else left alive was like, oh my god, like, we're immune to it, but what the hell's going to happen now? And there was obviously the reports of the apes rising up in the first one. So, by the sound of it, Bad Ape started to change, and the other apes in his enclosure started to change, and the moment any of them showed a sign of it, they were killed. Because I think he says like he kept quiet, but he listened, and that's how he's learned to speak. Yeah. So it's probably like after hours, like when no one's there anymore, he's probably talking to himself and practicing and getting there, and he thinks his name's Bad Ape because that's what they called him. Yeah. Although he seems to realise that that's not his name, but he's accepted it. Yeah. Like he's picked it. So yes, this is the plot of the third one. Basically, is it's later on from dawn. We don't really know what the rest of humanity's like, but in this part of the world, which is sort of on the Canadian border, I think it is.
It's implied to be around that area. Yeah.
We know that there are military factions going on, and as we learn in this movie, one of them in particular that is like killing people, and apparently other military factions.
Well, it seems that.
It seems at first like they're planning an assault on the apes.
This might be all that's left.
Although, yeah, toward the end, I think there's more implication that no, there's more, but they're scattered. Like it's not like you've got cities full of people.
This is the last like organised military government and like
Yeah. Also, we think.
Oh, so we think,
Yeah,
but then like
yeah.
they're a splinter of that faction.
Yeah.
But like the government in, well, I would assume Canada
Mm.
is probably the last sort of organised human government.
We no need to kill the apes, eh? We'll sit them down, have some poutine, and talk it out.
But can they talk anymore though?
Sign language can save the world. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true now.
But some of this military group are sent in specifically to kill Caesar. The belief being that if they take Caesar out, the apes won't know what the hell they're doing and they'll be easier to pick off. Mm-hmm. But because Caesar is known to exist, there is an ape that is in charge of all the other apes and looks after them. So this military group is sent in, and Caesar will apprehend them. And after a massive fight where a load of apes and a load of humans lose their lives, three of the humans, 4 of the humans are kept alive. And the gorilla, which we'll get into in a second, because that's fucking fascinating what they've done with that. 4 of the humans are kept alive. They're like tied up, put back on 2 of the horses, and sent back to the colonel.
Yeah.
Who is the one who's in charge of these strikes, and told, like just tell him, I only want to protect the apes. Leave us alone. They're like, do you think it'll work? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, sending them back alive is my way of saying I don't want to kill you.
I don't want war.
I don't want war. Caesar is so tired at this point.
Yeah.
He's worn. He's a father of 2. So, naturally, as a parent, he's probably knackered, especially as the head of, like, the ape society who's trying to look after them all.
I was just checking, apparently it's 15... depending on... So, it's either 12 or 15 years between Rise and War.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a 10-year gap between Rise and Dawn.
Okay.
And then Dawn... War is set 2 years after Dawn.
Okay.
But... The text at the beginning of the movie is like, it was 15 years since Rise. So it contradicts itself.
Right. So there's a bit of discrepancy. I mean,
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm not sure every person in the continuity of the movies is going to be keeping a check of the calendar.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's been
It is fucked up.
some time.
Well, I can imagine there's only a couple of years between Dawn and War 4, simply because his youngest, Cornelius,
Is a babby in
is
Dawn,
a baby,
yeah.
so would have been born like
And
maybe
he's still-
at most like a year prior.
And it's still like toddlerish,
Yeah.
or the ape equivalent of toddlerish in this, so it can't be more than a couple of years.
But one final raid on their settlement leaves Caesar's wife and oldest born dead.
Yeah.
And he starts to snap. Like, peace is not on his mind anymore. He wants to kill the colonel.
He goes full Ahab.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm going out there, I'm going to kill him. Like, he wants me. Well, I'm going to send all of my people, I'm going to send all of my apes off in this direction, as far away from these military people as I can, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to kill him. And if I don't return, I don't return, but at least I tried to get rid of the one man who seems to be insistent on hurting me and my people.
The way he seems to see it, he has a responsibility as a leader to keep them safe.
Yeah.
And
as far as he's concerned, the way to do that right now is to kill the colonel,
Yeah.
the one giving the orders on the other end. So he's joined by Rocket, who is sort of a close member of his group.
one of the original apes from the Sanctuary.
Yeah. Luca, who's a gorilla, who's in charge of his sort of soldiers. Like, Caesar does have a group of soldiers who are armed and have horses and basically patrol the territories to make sure no one comes in to hurt them.
Yeah.
Luca joins them. And Maurice, because Maurice is like, I'm coming with you because I'm good. He's like, I might not come back. And he's like, that's why I'm coming with you. To make sure you do. And it's like, oh my god, I love these characters so much. They're a family.
Yeah.
That was the first bit where I started blubbing in this movie.
Oh.
Was it that bit where those 3 came to me and they're like, you're not going without us. Like, we are coming with you. Because I realised that Maurice could see that Caesar was going down a very dark path.
Yeah.
Maurice knows that Caesar might have to kill the colonel. I don't think he's going to stop him doing that.
No.
But I think he's just making sure that he does that and then gets the fuck out of there and comes back. Nothing more. Because
home.
Caesar has started having hallucinations, especially when he's dreaming of Koba.
Yeah.
Who is egging him on to kill.
Like, keeps just taunting him with the whole kill. Ape, not kill ape thing.
And which is great because you can totally tell that it's Toby Kebbell returned to the role.
Oh yeah.
It's freaky as sin.
Freaky dicky Dutch.
Now, the humans are accompanied by donkeys, which has... I know obviously it's about pack mules, basically. Like, they provide the weapons, they carry the supplies.
Yeah.
But it's got to also be a direct reference to Donkey Kong.
Well, yeah, because
considering they refer to Caesar as King Kong.
Yeah.
So that's such a weird thought that in a Planet of the Apes movie set in a post-apocalyptic world...
It's of its time,
Donkey Kong is referred to. But these gorillas, they're mostly gorillas. I think there's a couple of apes, but they're mostly gorillas.
Yeah.
We find out were members of Caesar's tribe.
They were Koba's group,
who agreed with Koba.
Yeah.
Like they either fought for Koba alongside Koba, or after the events of the last movie deserted because they were like, no, Koba was right. So they've joined the humans because, as far as they're concerned, at least this way, they'll stay alive for sure.
Well,
which was just sort of the implication is they're doing it because they're like, this is the only way we can guarantee we'll live. We hate you, Caesar, so anything we can do to screw you over, the better.
The big stupid doo-doo here.
So there's that. So that's a fascinating idea as well, especially because one of them are winter.
Winter
defects in the movie. And that's a frightening scene where they confront him in the camp.
Caesar accidentally kills him.
I couldn't
or is
tell.
Is it accidental?
I couldn't tell if he was out or dead.
No, he's
but
dead.
they linger the shot, so I was like, oh, he's got to be dead.
Caesar's
rage basically takes him over for a second.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep him quiet, and he just goes too far and chokes him to death. And oh god! But the thing is, the movie's all about it's completely about loyalty. That's in terms of the ape story. It's about loyalty and family and everything. It's just
apes together strong.
Yeah, raise your arms up, boy. It's just, and it's illustrated the best when they find on the outskirts of the shoreline this cabin, and there's a guy there who's like, I'm just going to put down the firewood, and then he gets out his gun, they shoot him quickly, and they see the tattoo and they realise he was part of the armed forces, or as we thought, possibly a defector, or maybe he was out there to kill everybody he could find with the virus and he was going to come back. We don't know. But there they find a young girl, very young girl, who stains on her face, her nose has been bleeding.
Yep.
And she can't speak. And when they first meet her, she tries.
Yeah.
Which implies that maybe she's not really had anyone to talk to in a while, or hasn't been, given the chance to talk. And she seems sort of frightened that she can't talk. Not frightened of Maurice, frightened that she can't speak. And the Maurice offers her this little stuffed toy, and shows her that I mean you no harm.
So wonderfully gentle, Maurice.
It's beautifully done, and she keeps an ornament from a car that they get from Bad Ape later, and that's what dubs her Nova. And by this point, any fans of the original series are like, yes, this is a completely different series because that's not Nova in the original series. This Caesar isn't Caesar in the original series.
No.
Cornelius isn't Cornelius in the original series. Maurice is a reference to another ape character.
Yeah.
This is a completely different series now. But Nova joins their group, and it's it's so beautifully told.
The relationship between her and Maurice, and sort of them sort of adopting her and forging a sort of new dynamic between humans and apes.
Showing that a coexistence could work. If only, I guess, the rest of humanity, who at this point are panicked and afraid, had the eyes of a child.
Yeah.
And could be open to it. Because she's not terrified with it. When they first come in, she's obviously a bit like, oh god, what the hell's going on? But then when Maurice approaches her and is just sort of very calm.
And she does seem to forgive them rather quickly for what may
what
may have been her father.
May have been her father, or
who knows?
Who knows? As far as she was concerned, even if he was maybe sent out there to kill her, she probably did not know that.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have had any idea. So this was someone who's looking after her, even if it's not a dad. It's someone who was taking care of her.
Yeah.
So it's enough to be kind of oh god. But we find soldiers that the colonel's troops in their movement from one camp to another have left for dead. They've shot them and then left them to die. And it's because they've had the nosebleeds and they can no longer talk. And as we learn later on, we meet the Colonel, played by Woody Harrelson, doing his best sort of Colonel Kurtz.
Oh, he loves it, doesn't he?
again, like the series' second villain. Like he's a baddie. But in the Shakespearean sense of like he's been through exactly what you've been through, just a different way round.
Yeah.
Like you two have complete shared experiences, but then there has been a path where you've diverted in different directions.
Yeah.
Due to your circumstances and the lot that life is throwing at you and everything. But like you learn that basically he was a soldier. People started to change and everything. His son was one of them. He doesn't know what happens if these people... He's frightened of what happens if these people stay alive. Like, is it going to spread? So they wipe out any trace of it. They burn their belongings, their clothes, their bodies. And then his son gets it. And he shoots his son in the head and kills him. And burns all of his belongings and erases all trace of him. And that sort of liberates him as far as he's concerned. He's like, I no longer have to care. I just have to keep everyone who isn't sick alive. But he says it in a way where he's gone past the point of like, this is how humanity's going to survive. I'm doing this because I have to save humanity. He's at the point now where he's like, I'm doing it because I hate what you've done to us.
Yeah.
And I want to wipe out every
It's
trace
almost
of
like
it.
there's sort of a religious undertone to a lot of what is going on. So it's almost like he's a zealot in some ways. It's really
like you can't hate him entirely because like, as far as he's concerned, the apes have suddenly developed a disease. It's killed off thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people in one go. Millions of people have died.
Yep.
And now people who haven't died are either dying because of like the way the world is, they're not able to like eat and sleep and find shelter and protect themselves.
Yep.
And now more people are dying, as far as he knows, because this disease is taking them over, so that before it spreads, he's having to have them killed. Or, choosing to kill them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's some serious shit. But you get where he's coming from. Like, he's not Michael Keaton's Vulture. He's not sympathetic who just took a wrong decision. But, like, you get why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah. Too right.
And it's horrible. And there's soldiers that are clearly conflicted in what they're doing with him. Like, the majority of them believe, but, like, one of the guys who was spared at the beginning...
Yeah.
is clearly in doubt of the Colonel's, like, sanity and
not
everything.
Not that in doubt,
but
though.
not that in doubt, because when push comes to shove, he's about to kill Caesar.
Yeah.
And ultimately, he lands the killing blow.
Yeah.
Because, spoiler alert, motherfuckers, this is a trilogy.
Yeah.
And this trilogy, by the end of it, was about Caesar. He's sort of one of the players in part one. He's our bridge between part one and part two in part two. And part three is the Logan of the Planet of the Apes movies.
Logan of the Planet of the Apes, I like that.
In some places, almost beat for beat. By sheer coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh god. So the camp, like, massive attack, then the ape escape happens. Haha.
Hey!
Take a shot for a PS1 game. So all that goes down. All those sequences were amazing. They meet Bad Ape along the way, who's been hiding out in a ski resort.
Yeah.
Who's another, and I think that was a narrative choice and everything, because they were like, we only have one character who talks, and he's not going to talk to these guys all the time. He's going to sign.
Yeah.
So we need another character who talks. So they made the choice of introducing Bad Ape. But Bad Ape was a great addition because...
And also wears clothes, which is another little nod to the sort of like development of apes.
They're starting to change.
Yeah.
Like, he spent all that time around humans, so he's picked up speech.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also like, well, they dress in clothes, so I should probably dress in clothes.
Yeah.
Like, if I talk like them, I'll dress like them. And you're right, like, it starts the sort of the slow change. But like Bad Ape was a great decision because obviously it means you find out what's been happening to domesticated, unquote, apes within, elder apes in captivity. You find out what's been happening with them. But also comic relief in a very bleak movie. Like his comic relief isn't distracting or jarring. There's I think there was one gag, I can't remember which one it was, but there's one gag where he says something, I pissed myself laughing out loud. Because it came completely out of nowhere in a moment that was very serious. But it works, because the first film has light moments. Second film, not so much. Third one now has, again, because of like scenes with Maurice and Nova and Bad Ape.
It's a very well-balanced movie, tone-wise.
Yeah. Because it is bleak as shit.
Oh, yeah.
When this movie ended, there are some wonderful, gorgeous themes in it about loyalty and family and like what it means to do the right thing. But it's also a prisoner of war movie.
Yeah, it's not the action movie the trailers sold.
No, the action sequences happen and they're great.
Yeah,
but they are very few.
Yeah.
The opening action set piece is grim.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, but Caesar being strung up and sort of made an example of and punished in front of the others, and it's horrible to watch in places.
Yeah.
But then it's so inspiring when you see that no matter what, because even after all this, their plan isn't right. We're going to rise up and murder all the people in this camp.
They just want
to escape. Their plan is we're just going to get out. We're going to get out of here. And then Caesar makes the call at the end. He's like, "No, I'm going to go and kill him. I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill the colonel." Because first he tries to blow the camp up, doesn't he? The Red, I think, was the name of the ape, the donkey that.
No, he kills the general and then goes to blow the camp up.
Oh, he's already. Yeah. Well, he doesn't kill the general because he goes to kill the colonel.
Oh, yeah.
And the colonel, in an ironic twist of fate, as the other, because that's the thing he discovered: the army attacking the base, this soldier group's base.
Yeah.
Are from the main chunk of the military.
It's implied that that's the last of the military.
Yeah, oh god, or at least the last of their firepower.
Yeah,
they've sent the last of the ones who can do something.
Yeah.
To sort this guy out, because they're basically no, he's not running from the apes or planning to kill the apes. He's having them all build a wall and defenses because the rest of the military are you are a freaking murderer and a psychopath. You've got all these people following you. We're going to take you out. So. On the eve of war, when these forces arrive to take them down, during the same time the apes have found a way to escape, Caesar goes to kill the colonel, and an ironic twist of cruel fate, the colonel is slumped over his bunk, nose bleeding, unable to speak, fumbling, scared, and when he eventually grabs his gun, he doesn't even aim it at Caesar. Pulls the trigger into his own face.
Yep.
And it's and it felt like such an anticlimactic ending for that character, but it felt poetically right.
Yeah.
It wasn't justice.
No.
But it was it had to go this way. You had to be felled by the thing you feared so much that you didn't even stop to understand it. You just took violent action. The themes in these movies, man.
Yeah.
In these reboots in particular, the themes just oh my god. Caesar gets arrowed by one of the guys he spared at the start of the movie. Red, the donkey ape who Caesar sort of talks around, grenade launches the hell out of that guy.
Oh boy, does he!
Spectacular. And then Caesar starts blowing up the camp from the inside as best he can, but it's already pretty much screwed by this point by the invading forces. They manage to get over a border, like Logan. They arrive at a lakeside in the sun. It's the dawn of a new day. There's been a lot of loss, but everyone who made it from the camp
also point
is
out
alive.
That after this, an avalanche wipes out what's left of both the human and military forces.
Yeah, completely crushes them. And the apes survive by climbing the trees in this wonderful sort of mirror again to the first movie. His thing when he's let off the leash in the national park is climbing to the trees, and the first movie ends with them in the trees and everything.
I mean, that's what apes do.
The parallels to the first movie, man. I mean, the symbol of trust between him and Franco's character, the hand thing, has evolved. It's become what Caesar's people do to show respect to their leader.
Yeah.
And not in a way, it doesn't feel like he's sort of enforced it. It feels like generation-wise
they've
adopted
passed
down.
Yeah.
Because it's that beautiful, horrible shot. It's really sad because of how scared everyone is and all the losses at the beginning, when it's a POV shot from Caesar's POV when he arrives to talk to the soldiers they've captured from the attack. And all the apes are just parting, and they're all putting their arm out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just oh god, they all look so scared. Oh my god, it's the hand thing from the first one. And it's insane. But they get to the lake, and it's a gorgeous day, and as many of them as could have survived have made it.
Yeah.
There have been losses, but people have survived. They have 2 new members of their group. They've got Bad Ape, and they've got Nova. Which again you can see this sowing the seed, because obviously everybody familiar with the original movie's like, oh, in this version, this is how that begins. Like, this is how we get, like, the herded humans, but maybe it starts off as a more friendly relationship and stuff because of this one girl.
Which is very much taken from Battle of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, yeah. So it's like, let's see how this goes. But then he sees them all there, they're safe. Maurice notices sees his pretty much mortal wound, and he says, like, your son will know what you did for us. Like, they all will know what you did. Because at first he's like, we need to get you out. And he's like, no, it's like, it's too late. But
I'm done.
But he sort of, I don't, it's not these words, but he sort of says, like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
They are safe. And he just sort of very quietly, not grand, no big operatic rise in the score. Like, he just sort of
just fades away.
Slips into consciousness, into unconsciousness, fades away. And the film ends with this shot of the rest of them moving on, because they're all kind of taking a moment to breathe, and some of the children are running to, like, the water to play at the edge of the water, and everyone's safe. And a couple of them, like, as the final shot's a couple of them have sort of turned around, noticing something's wrong, and start to walk over, and the film ends. And you're like, oh god,
done.
And in my cinema, which midweek, summer holidays, mix of audience members from, like, young kids who were silent and paying attention the whole time,
which is impressive,
which is amazing. To
Apes will do that
to older adults and everything. Like, it was about a third full. I've never been in a cinema screen before, even after Logan, where the reaction to everybody was just this weird, quiet.
Yeah, sort of
not
like,
quite sure how to feel, but there wasn't. Normally, you get that feeling. You get the quiet in a film that was shite. And everyone's kind of like,
oh, well, I'm disappointed now.
There was just this air of like, everyone was taking it in.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Like, I love it. Where do we go from here? They have greenlit a fourth movie. It will not necessarily be a fourth one in this series, but it's in this continuity. I think, we were talking about this before we recorded, I think like, the inevitable step is to skip time ahead and do Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many movies you can make about the apes getting smarter and the humans getting dumber. Like, now is the time, considering Caesar's story's at an end.
Yeah.
Now's the time to skip ahead. But you can't do Planet of the Apes as was. You can't just remake the original.
No, it wouldn't work in this new continuity.
You've got to do it from the POV of the Ape Society this time, completely. Well, obviously, you know, subplot with the human, but like the apes have to be the thingy, and I think you need to do it with the descendant of Caesar.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have, like, older Cornelius or someone. Maybe not Cornelius, because, you know, time wouldn't have changed that much. Like,
well, you know, yeah, maybe.
But you need to kind of do that and whatnot. Because the twist, you could still do a version of that scene, but it can't be the twist of the movie, because everyone knows the twist. So you've got to kind of play it differently. But I'll say this. In terms of title, you can't call it Planet of the Apes. Because Planet of the Apes is the story of astronaut landing and everything. Take a leaf from the animated series. Call it Return to the Planet of the Apes. Yeah? Because we're returning to the original concept of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
The astronaut is returning to the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And the series, again, like, is returning to what we originally associated it with.
Go on.
I'd be more than happy if this series was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, and Return to the Planet of the Apes. That would be boss. I would love that.
That'd be pretty boss.
I'd love that. And I love you. Do you know what else I love?
Oh.
Pickle Rick.
So,
yep, a needle pulling thread.
We finally got episode 3 of this season of Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Well, we finally got an answer of what the hell's going on with the Netflix.
But we're getting
because just before this episode landed, the next 5 or 6 appeared on the list with the date. We get them the Saturday after they air in the States. So you remember when they said we get them straight after they've aired in the States?
No, we get the last one straight before the next one airs in the States.
Yeah, we get them 6 days after they air in the States.
Dumb.
So stupid.
Although people do put them up on Facebook and YouTube immediately after the air in the States.
I've started avoiding Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, I'm happy to wait for them.
On Sunday nights, Monday morning.
We're doing a similar thing with Game of Thrones at the moment as well, because Game of Thrones has turned into a leaky fucking ship all of a sudden.
Yeah, like I saw someone saying like they've seen the last episode of the series. It's like, really? Mm-hmm. Isn't it like 2 weeks away or something? But no, whatevs, Trevs. But yeah, Pickle Rick finally arrived, and we get it. We get it, America. We understand why you're getting all excited about it now. Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick! Won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but the basics are Rick turns himself into a pickle.
Yep.
And that's it. Like, that's the drive of the episode. It becomes apparent very quickly he's done it to avoid family therapy. But Rick's turned himself into a pickle.
He's a pickle.
And then accidentally ends up down the sewer and has to develop a way to get, like, out. Meanwhile, Beth, Summer, and Morty are having, like, the most wonderful therapy scene in television's recent history. Simply because the therapist just goes with, like, yeah, your father is a pickle now.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Like, and you're like, wait, what? She's not questioning it. But also because it's Susan Sarandon voicing the therapist, who's called Dr. Wong. Racist name, by the way.
That therapist is completely stone-faced.
Yeah.
And she's also a coprophagia specialist.
Yeah.
So if you know any people who'd like to stop eating poop, pass them along my number.
I got Susan Sarandon to say that line. So there's that. But the best scene in it for me was when Rick Pickle Rick got washed down into the sewer and arrived in the sewer. I was like, right, how the hell is he going to get out? Because he can't move. He's conscious and he speaks. That's it.
But he's a pickle.
He's a pickle. So
he's an actual pickle.
How is he going to... And then he bites his lip. The brine runs out like blood.
Oh, yeah.
A cockroach skitters over and he bites the cockroach's neck until he's choked it out, and then you hear a snap. Then he bites the top of the cockroach's head and peels it back. And then uses his tongue to poke the left and right side of the cockroach's brain, making its freaking legs twitch. So he mounts on top of the cockroach and starts piloting it, and then the next thing we see of him is he's got a few cockroaches strapped to him with the brains like in front of his mouth so he can move the things with his tongue. And then he's developed an elaborate pulley system so that the weight of a severed rat's head sets off a chain reaction that implants him into a body made of rat bones and bug bits that he pilots because he's got a tube going from a rat brain on his back into the head of the pickle. And then he ends up in a secret facility.
Yep.
In some kind of like dictatorship-led country where a government agency has sort of taken over.
It's clearly not far from where he is.
But it's a because you have the whole thing with it's in America, but like you find out that they've obviously taken over a country somewhere.
Yeah, it's like
and the main agent there, the main person's voiced by Peter Serafinowicz.
I love Peter Serafinowicz.
Pitch perfect as always, and they use a guy called Jaguar, who's like a prisoner of war from this country that they've overthrown, voiced by Danny Trejo, who they promise he can see his daughter again if he'll track down and kill the pickle. The pickle that has appeared in their facility and started murdering people because people are trying to kill the pickle because for some reason all the soldiers come from a country where there is a superstition about
Savenya,
the pickle man. A deadly creature who will murder you if you they punish you if as a child you don't eat your vegetables, and they think this is the pickle man coming to kill them because it's been too long since they avoided eating their vegetables when they were children.
The pickle man.
And it just spirals out of control. And
Pickle Man.
It becomes Die Hard, and at the same time it's just
John Wick.
Oh god, it John Wicks the heck out of things.
Yeah.
By the end of the episode, I'd forgotten what Rick looked like. Because to me, he was just a small green penis-shaped thing with limbs. The fuck was Pickle Rick?
It's amazing.
It was pretty great. I mean, obviously it's too early to say if it's the season's breakout episode, but it'll definitely be the one people quote the most. It's easy to quote 2 words out loud, as the freaking Tiny Rick stuff from last year proved.
And also...
Oh my god.
It's just the most bonkers concept. I think.
Also, we get to tick off the bingo card of what in the title sequence actually will appear in the show at the end as well.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember the villain's name now. There's a bad guy.
I can't remember, but it's the
freaking brilliant.
The piano hammers face guy.
Yeah, it used to be like a full-on supervillain plot that we're never going to see. We just see the end of it. Oh my
Jaguar
god!
comes to save him.
It was so good. I was bowled away by it. I'm glad we waited. I'm glad they took the time they needed to make season 3, because holy shit, season 3 is 3 episodes in. They've all been really freaking funny.
Yeah.
So bring on the others. The next one has got a weird title like Return of the Something.
Vindicators 3 Return.
Vindicators 3 Return thing. So it's like, wait, what? And I was racking my brain. I was like, have we seen something called the Vindicators in this show?
Probably not.
No.
This is Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Like, they are
I'm just
really
waiting,
good at non-sequitur.
for Ball Fondlers the movie. That's what I want to see.
We've got to get some more ball fondlers this season.
We do.
Speaking of ball fondlers!
There it is.
Great minds think alike. Fools seldom differ. Let's go to the emails.
Let's do it.
You ball fondlers, you. Dan Rawlings.
Dan Rawlings is a music man. His fingers can play.
He is a music man. To reply to you from the last episode but one, because we didn't answer this one last week because we recorded earlier than we were going to. He's playing Anthony in Sweeney Todd. That's the music.
Nice.
I feel you, Joanna.
That's why she reported him.
Feel you.
That's why she reported him.
Do you think that walls can hide you?
He just cooked my
Even
face.
now I'm at your window. I am in the dark beside you. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
That was good. You cupped my face. I felt like you were singing to me.
I'm not an Anthony though. I'm more of a Sweeney.
You would be a cracking Sweeney, actually.
Yesterday,
and Sweeney Todd. I mean, just
I'm going to be both
Sweeney.
members of the Sweeney.
Yeah.
Do you ever see that Sweeney remake with Ray Winston and Plan B?
No, but I do like Plan B, so I was curious. Terrible?
I hear it's fucking bad. I've not seen it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's terrible.
I think it's on Amazon at the moment.
But
anyway,
I do like Plan B, so I'll probably give it a shot.
Yesterday, I went out and bought The Amazing Spider-Man 2 on DVD. I could have bought literally any other movie. You could have.
Yeah, you could.
And I watched it along with your commentary.
Hey!
I absolutely loved it, your video, not the film, and I was wondering if you have any other films in mind that you'd like to make future commentary videos, and also if you take requests. We'd like to do some more at some point. I can't promise that we'll honour requests, but if you want to throw some requests our way, we'll certainly consider them.
If there are ones infamous enough, I think we'll...
Yeah, I reckon so.
If there is a film infamously bad, we're likely to probably tackle it in some way, and that way might be a commentary.
We might even tackle some good films, you don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know what our plans are.
Or Dares to Dream, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, guys.
Yeah.
Dan, nice one. If
Thanks,
you guys
Dan.
want to hear it, you never saw it, if you've got The Amazing Spider-Man 2 for some reason in your possession, I'm very sorry. But yeah, if you want to ease the pain slightly and watch two idiots yell about how ridiculous it is as you're watching, check out our commentary on the Big Dumb channel. It's a video commentary, so if you're watching your DVD
You pop it on your phone and you just prop it in the... Yeah.
Yeah, you either stick us on your phone just next to the monitor,
Yeah.
or if you're watching it on your desktop, on your laptop, whatever, like shrink us in a window in the bottom corner and watch us bitch and moan to your heart's content.
You can do that shit. I sank my teeth and possibly more body parts into 9 is 10.
Hey.
Boomtown as well recently, and I'm so
nice.
I'm so confused as to where the whole by Jing by Jove thing came from. It's just a random bit of chatter that we
Yeah,
me and Chris talk a lot of nonsense. And sometimes we say phrases and they stick. I don't know why.
I think the seed of it for that one was... I think the seed was I'd said by Jove at some point in an ad-lib on CBBC, and it really tickled Phil, who looks after Hacker. So I kept saying it a bit, and then that was sort of it, and I didn't really do anything with it. And then when it came to 9 is 10, I ended up using it as a bridge. And I think when we got to Boomtown, we just dived in. Like, you were the first guest on 9 is 10 to buy Jove back. So we just started by Joving and by Jinging. And then apparently there's a song in something. I've not Googled it. I probably should. Where there's lyrics by Jove, by Jing, by Strauss is the thing. I should probably Google that.
Sounds like something.
Someone sang it to me once.
Pepper's just shat.
Yay! In the
litter tray.
Oh,
like,
God.
but it's only on. Oh god.
Oh god. I'm gonna find out what the hell that's from.
Fucking
by
cats.
Jove, by Jing, by Strauss is the thing.
While you're doing that, Dan asks, Doctor Who, what are your favourite moments or episodes from Doctor's series you least like, and least favourite moments from Doctor's series you big damn love? My least favourite moment from an episode I quite like is in Love and Monsters, where Elton reveals he often receives head from a fucking paving slab. How much can you fit? Never mind. Thanks, chaps. Dan Rollings, 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 Dan Rollings.
If you say it 3 more times than that in quick succession, he'll appear in your oatmeal and piss in it.
I don't eat oatmeal, I eat muesli.
The song's by Strauss, by Ella Fitzgerald.
Of course it is.
What's by Jingo?
Favourite moments from Doctor series you
hang on.
least favourite moments from Doctor series we do.
Are these Doctor Who questions that we're going to reluctantly answer?
I'm reluctantly going to answer this, yeah.
Matt and Chris, 2 lifelong Doctor Who fans,
reluctantly answer Doctor Who questions. Least favourite moment from an episode. Favourite moment from an episode I least like. Colin's big fuck you speech to the Time Lord. Time Lords in Trial of a Time Lord.
So what's that? Favourite moment from an episode
you don't care?
Yeah.
Or from a Doctor.
That is a great. What was it? What was it he says?
He's like, Daleks, Cybermen, Sontarans, they're all still in the nursery compared to us!
Was it 10,000 years? Is it 10,000, 10 million
10,
years
10
of absolute power? That's what it takes to be truly corrupt. Yeah, that is a great
Because I love
actually.
Colin.
Which is really undercut by the immediate scene afterwards, where like they just sort of go, right, well, we don't care what you have to say, Doctor, screw you. Oh, here's the Master for some reason. Oh, it's 2 episodes.
And the Valiant.
The Valiant. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
So a good moment in an episode I don't really care for. Damn. I really like that moment. I don't really care for Fear Her, but I really like that moment where Chloe Webber draws the TARDIS as like Rose and the Doctor stuff are walking back to it. And she steps out of it, turns around, and it's gone. Because Billy Piper really plays the panic well. Because it's like, oh my god, what do I do? Like that's terrifying. Like he's just suddenly gone, and the TARDIS has disappeared like without a sound. That's a cool moment in that story, but it's yeah. There's probably more. There's probably quite a few from the Moffat era where like there's cool moments in a story that I don't care for very much.
In terms of least favourite moments from stories, I love all the yellow face stuff and the unfortunately racist
Talons
stuff
of Weng Chiang.
in Talons of Weng Chiang that just hasn't aged well because it's kind of racist.
Oh god, yeah.
I love that story, but it's kind of difficult to go back to because that's a dude in yellow face, straight up. The 70s.
Human Nature, Family and Blood. The montage of him entrapping the family. Because it just comes the fuck out of nowhere. Because they go like, the reason why he ran from us wasn't because he was scared, it's because he was being kind. And it's like, he does this to us. And one of the things that he does to them make no sense.
They do a lot of stuff.
He bound my father in unbreakable chains and dumped him in a bloody corridor in the Millennium Centre, apparently.
Like,
he pushed my mother into a freaking, like, dwarf star or whatever.
Like
she was going to drift forever.
Trap the girl
in all the mirrors in the world.
Yeah.
If you ever think you've seen something in the corner of your eye, like that's her every single time. And he put me to work on the field, like just stuffs the guy to a scarecrow suit.
It's very much a part of what they've done more and more with the show, with this new series that's gone on.
Don't go shouting! I've got my gun.
It's that myth. It's that myth making.
Yeah,
but it's a bit.
But it's just it comes the fuck out of nowhere after a story that has been very character driven. And
It's
I
just
get
a
the
bit
idea.
heavy-handed,
It would make more sense if you just put them somewhere.
Yeah.
Like all of them somewhere in a thing. But it's like, I'm sorry, someone's going to find that that's not a scarecrow at some point.
Yeah.
What do you mean you put her in every mirror?
Perception filters.
Explain.
I don't know.
It just... But I love that. Other than that, I adore that 2-parter. So yeah, that's a good example. What I love about this is Dan basically says that he loves Love and Monsters.
He likes Love and Monsters.
Hey, There's no such thing as liking monsters, Dan.
Which is, generous.
There's love or loathe, and only the smart people love it. Hi, Matt. How you doing?
Ian
I think
sends
we'll have
us...
to do a commentary on that at some point.
Ian sends us a couple of short ones.
What about emails?
First of all, I would like to inform you guys, actually the brand, I Can't Believe It's Not Butter, is no longer called I Can't Believe It's Not Butter.
Right.
What? Thank you for pleasuring my ear holes for another week, Ian. And also, getting down and dirty with a Procyon Loader. It's called War itself now.
What?
I've no idea.
I know what Procyon Loader is.
What is it?
Procyon Loader is, you get down and dirty with the Procyon Loader when you've got no people's skills, but you're good with motors.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Guardians Inferno, baby.
Oh.
I have no idea what it's going to do with War itself.
Right.
But,
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Thanks.
Jacob says...
With his magic knee, Jacob send an email to me. Oh, he has.
He says, hello, big damn cockers. I know this is an old subject, but apparently I'm sexist because I don't want my hero to be a woman. I have my reasons, some of them silly and some of them actually valid. Like I don't particularly want to fancy my hero. That's one of the sillier reasons. But I just wish the Doctor Who fans that are calling people sexist for not wanting a female would just think they might have a valid reason. A final comment on this subject. I have my option, I think you mean opinion, and so does Christopher Logopoulos, Johnson and Matthew Time and Riley Watson. I know they will respect my opinion, and I respect theirs, but if you want to comment on someone's opinion, please think that they might have a valid reason for why they don't want this. Please send your valid reasons on a stamped addressed postcard to Big Damn Cast, and we'll consider them. Anyway, my friends, I watched Kingsman: The Secret Service due to that mysterious contributor, also known as Lucy's enthusiasm towards it, and I very well enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it,
what's Jacob's voice?
I don't know. Started off as David Bowie, that just went weird. And if you haven't seen it and often agree with my opinions, you should definitely go and rent it or buy it or illegally stream it or illegally pirate it or whatever floats your boat. Pirate's boat. Huh. I went to see The Dark Tower and it was excellent. I don't know what Rotten Tomatoes says, 21% my ass. It was excellent. It makes me want to read the book, which I'm currently doing in the exact moment. In fact, it's quite difficult, but it adds comedic value to email. That's one thing a comedian should never do, is point out he's trying to be funny. Quick, Jacob, run and hide. I hope some wonderful people find my emails amusing. Anyway, like I said before, if you agree with my opinion before, you should definitely see it. So the reviews, just watch it. Now for Doctor Who questions. What do you like?
Wait. I don't know what was more amusing there. Jacob's unending stream of consciousness, or the fact you committed to that voice and it nearly killed you.
It didn't kill me, I'm still alive.
You're still alive to reluctantly answer
Doctor Who questions. When do you think that the universe of Doctor Who started to fall apart? Do you think Doctor Who's going the way that the classic series did?
I think it has already done the thing that the classic series did. I think we're now about to enter the TV movie / 2005 era again, if we're lucky.
It's one of those, like, when one person is running the show for too long, that's when it starts to get stale.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
agreed.
Yeah.
I think the only way is up. It could go down.
It could go down.
But the only way. The only way is up or down.
The only way is up or down. It definitely can't go forward or backwards.
When it was up, it was up. When it was down, it was down. When it was only halfway up,
it was the Husbands of River song.
Yeah. So there's that. What was the other part of the question?
Do you think that Doctor Who is going the way the classic series did?
Yeah, I think it did. I think it already did. We've had the hiatus. We've had sort of the terrible stories hampering excellent actors. We've had the companions written that were sort of bizarre choices in general. Like, the difference is Melanie Bush was sort of like irritating. Clara was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, like Mel was annoying, but she wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Oh, that's great.
Was she terrible?
Yes.
She was terrible.
But I think that was down to the character's creation and the old idea of the character rather than
Bonnie Langford. We like Bonnie Langford.
Bonnie Langford was weirdly miscast, and the character was created for a miscast.
Yeah.
But everyone's going to point it out, so I'm going to save you all the bloody finger time. Giggity. She's utilised a lot better in Big Finish, and she does a really good job in Big Finish. There, you don't have to say it now.
Lots of love and all the squishiest thin cuddles I can give.
Ooh.
Jacob, sent from Richard Handle's magic Wi-Fi enabled vibrator.
Ew.
I think that went a bit Pierce Brosnan at the end, didn't it?
What goes on in this town is none of your business.
Well, as long as I'm living here, it is.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here.
Tom Monty.
Oh God. Let's just warm up your vocal pipes. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Dear Christopher Maff.
God. Tom Monty nil.
After a few weeks away from the email scene, I've decided it is time to return to the email scene. I know it's not very relevant at the moment, and I only just noticed this recently, but I had a look on the official Doctor Who BBC website.
Don't do it.
And in an interview with Chris Chibnall, he said, I always knew I wanted the 13th Doctor to be a woman, and we're thrilled to score that number one choice.
Sorry, what? What was that?
Isn't this what you guys didn't want? This is exactly the sort of thing I was worried would happen. For them to cast the next Doctor based on their gender. It's confirmed now that Chris Chibnall and the BBC are sexists. Very disappointed in Chibbers.
I don't think that's confirming sexism whatsoever. I think that's him going, the show needs a change. I think, as showrunner, the change I would like to try is with a change for the genders lead.
It's difficult because if you want a woman for a role and you cast a woman...
The thing is, if he intended to do it as a woman, people are going to say that it's a sexist decision. If he intends to do it as a man, people are going to say it's a sexist decision for not finally taking the leap of trying something new.
You can't win, really.
I don't think it's sexist decision making. I think he's gone, we need to visibly show that this show is changing, as it is meant to do. Doctor Who survives on its change and renewal, and a really visible big sign of that for people who, for example, because here's the thing that everyone sort of forgets. There is a big audience no longer watching the show.
Yeah.
You've got to say to them, this show still exists, and look, we're doing something way different from the show that you fell out of love with. And one of the easiest ways to do that, and I'm not saying it's just as simple as cast a lady and it'll fix it. Of course not. But one of the easiest ways to do that is to go, right, we're going to cast the Doctor in a way the Doctor's never been cast before.
Yeah. I think
so. I'm fine with that decision personally.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
Yeah,
it's difficult for me to try and. It's difficult for me to try and see why everyone's pissed off about it being a woman. I just don't get it. I just don't see what the problem is.
The only criticism I've heard where I'm sort of okay, I kind of get that, is from the people who fell in love with the story, and that to them the show is sort of the older, the classic run style, apart from Davison, the older British male, very British man, hello, I'm quirky and Victorian clothing, la la la, that kind of structure of a dynamic. But Davison is already the wrench in the machine.
Yeah.
In the classic run, because it proves that it doesn't have to be an older British gentleman.
And also,
here's a younger, very out of breath, but younger, dashing British gentleman. And then the modern show has had one younger than usual Doctor in Tennant, and one much younger Doctor in Smith. So already the modern show doesn't have that structure to the silhouette of the show as a concept.
And also, I think
I find it hard to believe people would have that as a problem unless they really love the original run and they're looking for something close to the original run that they grew up with, maybe.
Well, the thing you've got to remember, though, is that
it's also about
this show has to move with the times.
Yes, agreed.
It has to move with the times.
It can't be stuck in a time.
It didn't, and that's what killed the original run.
Yeah.
It just couldn't keep up with stuff fast enough. Because you look at McCoy's last season, that was going up against Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Which was light years ahead of it in writing and production value.
Well, its last season upped its game.
Yeah.
They shook things up a bit. The writing was
which
different.
Which is what they needed to do, and they were going in that direction.
But it was too late.
It was too
the
little,
death
too
warrant
late.
Had been signed.
Yeah. And then when you look at Rose coming back, Rose that episode is very much a blueprint for modern Doctor Who for the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
Now we're in 2017.
Yeah.
We're living in a much more diverse, connected... I would like to think we're moving towards a more liberal society, although events in America and over here are clearly proving that is not the case. Although I think a lot of people want to, although people in power are pulling them back, and there is an alt-right uprising. And I think the show has to reflect that. And I think that, yes, casting. If he wanted to cast a woman, then he cast someone for the gender. Yeah, maybe, fine, okay. You can have that if you want. Again, did we say we were worried about that? I guess we were worried about tokenism, but it didn't feel like tokenism. I don't know. Like,
it's that odd thing. It's like I feel that diversity is important.
Yeah.
Forced diversity is kind of insulting to everyone involved, but you have to weigh it up. Like, if there has been an overwhelming majority of one thing, like be it one, gender or one ethnicity represented or whatever, it is not an offensive, insane notion to aim for more of something different.
I don't think you can call a 13-to-1 ratio of male to female forced diversity.
No, exactly.
Just putting that out
there. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it had been...
That's what I'm...
So it's just... It's like... I don't know. The thing that baffles me the most is people's problem with it. Like, again, I understand that people can have a problem with it. I'm like you. I just don't get why myself. I can't interpret it myself. I respect people's opinion. They are more than entitled to believe that, but I can't agree. I'm not going to shit on you for having that opinion. Matt might, but that's because he's been holding it in for a couple of hours.
Yeah, and I just like shitting on people.
He'll curl one out anywhere. But, but at the same time...
No, really, I'm not a coprophagist.
It's a show about change. It's a show based on change and renewal. It's a show about acceptance and understanding and open-mindedness. Like, the only thing the show is against is the forces of evil. Like, that is the only thing the show has beef with.
Yeah.
Bad guys. That's what the show's beef with.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's about a shape-changing, made-up alien character in a blue police box, travelling through time and space with a bunch of quirky, robotic, sexy people. That's the show. That's the show, guys. It's people wearing mops on their heads in silver jumpsuits fighting dustbins in space. It's... Why is this the biggest problem?
That's what all the people say. Anyway, let's... Yeah. I'm out enough of this bullshit, so let's not talk about any more of that. I've been watching Rick and Morty. It's been really good. I enjoyed Vindicators 3, but I'm aware that you guys are a week behind in reviewing it, so I will also say that I thoroughly enjoyed The Pickle.
I'm guessing you've been watching online then, haven't you?
Also, I'm aware that Chris doesn't watch Game of Thrones, but I'm not aware if Matt watches it. I do. I fucking love it. Does Matt watch Game of Thrones? I do. I fucking love it. If not, both of you need to watch it before you die.
My in-laws and, by extension, my soon-to-be sister-in-law's fiance's mother have borrowed our Blu-ray box sets. I have no chance of catching up now that Now TV have taken the box set.
Yeah, they do that, don't they? They're fuckers like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like they want you to pirate it.
Yeah, in a way. In many ways.
Because they make it really difficult for you to get hold of it legitimately.
But I will say this, I did watch this week's, and Kevin Eldon, popping up as a different character from the last time he was in it, confirms that even Game of Thrones has decided, we don't need to cast any new people now, we're just going to recycle British actors. Like, we're not going to cast every actor in Britain. We've picked 90% of them, and now we're going to just recast them in other roles.
Fuck them.
So expect to see dead characters reappearing as new characters, but with a mustache.
After many weeks of Doctor Who Series 10 not being on our screens, and now that you've both had time to mull it over as a whole, would you now sum up what you think about that series in one sentence and whether you feel like you want to revisit it at some point in the future? I know I won't be...
Tom's become a lot more lively, hasn't he?
Yeah, well...
He's gone from sounding like Vincent Price after a nap to Vincent Price slightly later after waking up from his nap.
That's what you do, innit? We're getting closer to prime Vincent Price.
Prime Price.
It's just practice.
Vincent Prime. I am Vincent Price.
I'm only doing this so I can practice my Vincent Price.
Yes.
I clearly need a lot of practice.
Disappointing is my overall thoughts of Series 10 in reflection.
Mostly harmless.
Fair play. Yeah.
It was alright. Will I revisit it? Maybe. I don't know. I've got a lot of shit to watch.
I'd watched the first few and then skipped to the last
I don't know if I'd watch the series again as a whole. Definitely not.
I just... Yeah. 4 words, the monks killed it.
Yeah, it was going alright up until that happened, and it never quite recovered, did it?
Oxygen was a bit... Nah, and then the monk trilogy killed my enthusiasm for the rest of the run.
Were you happy when you heard about Asbel's return in the Doctor Who 2017 Christmas special? How do you think she will return?
This is based on the San Diego news from the other week.
I am not particularly happy. I am not particularly interested.
Yeah, I thought her character was given an end that was a bit soppy, but fine. It was nice, and she got a nice little character beat at the very end.
It also gives her the ability to return however and whenever she wants. So.
But there is this weird thing in the Moffat era now, and I say like it's a thing, it's only happened once before, but it looks like it's going to happen again at Christmas, where when a Doctor leaves, there's almost like a mini greatest hits from their companion. And I'm not for that. I don't want every death to be the weird spiralling montage from the end of Caves of Androzani.
Yeah.
Like, all the deaths should be different. So having Bill pop up again is kind of like, Plus, I would have rather have been surprised by it. I probably wouldn't feel annoyed by it if we were just watching the Christmas special. It was like, oh shit! Like, instead now I'm like, oh, they've crowbarred her in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When can we expect a Big Damn Love for Black Mirror Series 2? I'm probably not going to do that one. I wouldn't expect any more Big Damn Love till next year at this point.
Yeah. There might be a couple toward Crimbo, but
yeah,
we're trying other stuff out.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got.
You haven't seen any of that other stuff yet, but we are trying it out.
Yeah, you've got 26 episodes to rewatch at your leisure in the meantime. Though,
yeah.
So feel free to binge it. But,
I feel like Christopher might do a season 2.
I'll tell you this: I'm very likely going to do season 2 of Black Mirror for the next Big Damn Love season. So yeah. Because I do love season 2. Be Right Back is one of my favourite ones. So
I've not actually seen season 2.
Oh, it's so good. I'll say nothing else because I was going to go on about why I love Be Right Back, but if you've not seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you.
You go on about everything else, so that's...
Hayley Atwell is amazing. There we go.
Okay, there we go. We knew that already.
Yeah.
Have either of you guys ever worked in retail before? If so, what was your favourite thing about it and your least favourite thing about it? I could literally talk all day about how much I hate my retail job. I don't really like anything about it. There we go.
Yeah, I've only worked 2 retail jobs, both very briefly. I worked in a coffee shop. I'm mostly just handing out the drinks, like not making them and stuff. Yeah. Like in Swinton briefly. When I was like 14 for next to no money, and it was fine. It was alright. And then I worked in a suit specialist shop for a while. Like I was sort of the new kid who was like dealing with all the customers and sorting out the orders and tidying up the showroom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine, I guess. Like my answer's very unremarkable. So it was fine.
As an actor, I spent most of my career out of work and working in retail and other similar jobs, so I fucking hate it.
So if anybody's a big producer who'd like to fund a 2-man touring stage show, then throw some cash. Don't cast us in it, just throw some cash.
Yeah, and we'll just go to Disneyland.
Fuck yeah.
Have a wonderful time in between now and the next podcast. Oh. Very well, Tom Monty.
What about after the next podcast, Tom?
After the next podcast?
Will we have a wonderful time then?
No, because we've not done a Big Damn Love on season 2 of Black Mirror yet.
Alright, well there you go. It's a promise. It'll be in season 2 of Big Damn Love. Season 2 of Big Damn Love will have season 2 of Black Mirror.
Finally, man!
Viagra tablets, yeah? Come on, it's gotta be.
Luke says...
Law of averages.
Luke says, oh, it's 3 p.m. on Wednesday already. I hope I'm not too late. What? I rewatched Buffy Restless recently.
Sorry.
I would love to hear your theories on the cheese man.
Wait. What?
I don't know. I just picked a voice and I'm going with it.
What was the question? I was too baffled.
I rewatched Buffy Restless recently, and I'd love to hear your theories on the cheese man.
Dreams, innit? It's dreams.
I can't remember. It's been that long since I've watched that episode of Buffy.
I've read an essay online somewhere that the cheese guy is like a thing. Like he's like sort of meant to be like the spirit of the first proper watcher, not the tribal guys and everything and all this stuff. Bullshit. It's a dream sequence. Here's a guy with some cheese.
Wait, are people overthinking themes of TV? Never.
Yeah.
Are there any children's TV shows that you still enjoy watching now? Mine is Winging It, but then I do have a bit of a crush on Kendra Timmins. Denise, woohoo.
Winging It.
I don't know what that is.
Is that the Guardian Angel one?
I don't know what that is.
I think it might be. If Deadly 60 is on the telly, I will watch it.
Children's shows. I like the original Transformers cartoon. I've been watching a bit of Transformers Prime recently. That's not too bad.
That's a recent answer.
That's a recent answer.
Modern.
We're modern. I'll always watch a bit of Power Rangers if I've got 2 minutes to kill, or we have a child in the house who needs to be entertained.
So me, whenever I pop round.
The Real Ghostbusters is on Netflix now. I've been meaning to get to that for a while.
Shut the front door.
And He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So I might. I love all the 80s cartoons.
That would be good.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. I don't like Pokemon. I keep wanting to like Pokemon.
I hate Pokemon. I used to love it.
I used to love it, and I play the
ago.
games a lot. But every time I think, I should watch some Pokemon, I watch it and go, this is fucking terrible.
It's dreadful. There's some nice animation in there somewhere, but it's just
not in the
bad.
early seasons. Like it's really, it's very, very bad poor animation.
And recently, I don't even know if it's classed as kids' TV back then, like family TV maybe. Recently, Lucy's been binging Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
I would say that's children's television. Yeah.
Oh my god,
teenagers television. Certainly.
It is great. It is. There's some painfully unfunny jokes in there, and then there are some completely under the radar. How did censors not notice this?
Well, I was just the right age to start have a teenage I guess I was preteen at the time. So I had a preteen crush on Melissa Joan Hart. So yeah,
me too. Although now I'm kind of crushing on Zelda much more.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
That's why you go back to the show as an adult. What is one TV show or film in which you would love to take part in a return or remake of? I'd pick either National Lampoon's Vacation or Community.
What TV show or film would you like to take part of if they were remaking it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put one out. I'm gonna put one on the line for you already. If they had to redo the Thing, you would totally get involved.
Oh God, I would. Yeah.
Even if it was just man who explodes early on.
If they
yes, please.
Any sort of genre movie like that, if they want to reboot or make a new installment in it, I'd be there like a shot.
Yeah.
Love to do an alien movie.
Yeah, ooh, yeah.
But a good alien movie, not like Alien Covenant. I'm really happy for Danny McBride. I'm really happy for Danny McBride that he got to come out of the comedy ghetto for a movie and actually do something pretty cool. But that movie's not good.
Not a great movie to be in. I've always said that I'm determined to either go to a taping of, if not somehow be an extra in Red Dwarf.
Yes.
Just
but they don't have a lot of guest cast. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's difficult, isn't it?
In fact, I think out of the last couple of years, the only episode where they had a lot of people, Twentica had some background performers, like the science bar and everything.
And there's the flashbacks.
And the other one with the Morality Drive.
Yeah.
So to go to a taping would be enough, because technically you're in it.
Yeah.
Your laughter's in it.
Your laughter's in it.
Although I'm absolutely freaking determined to get a background artist part in the League of Gentlemen special that they're working on. I'm determined. Me and a couple of others who used to be on the website back in the day. We've got to find out when they're filming so we can be in the background somewhere. Just so we can be like, guess what? We're in that one. We're in that one somewhere. So that would be nice. Fingers crossed. Who knows? Failing that, we could be Torchwood 6. Manchester branch.
I'd make the email longer. But I fear I
Don't.
may leave it too late.
No, Luke, it's okay. It's okay. Shh, Luke, it's
Goodbye.
Alright. We're cradling you, Luke. It's okay. Oh God, you really are.
Yes, please reply to this email or tweet you, then you might be free to work on an SGA commentary or whatnot.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We will let you know when we figured it out.
That's it. That's the show.
Is that it for every... Oh God.
That's all of them.
You know what this means, though, don't
That
you?
is all of them.
You know what this means?
What does it mean?
Now we have to go back into that small box that we're kept in.
No, only you're kept in the small box.
Oh.
I have a much larger, much nicer box.
But if we say dormant, who does the graphics? Who uploads the episodes?
I do it before I go in the box.
Oh, right. Okay, that's impressive.
And then I sleep for 7 days.
And your twin records Adventures in Backlog.
Yes. I do it all in one go. But before we go...
Yes, we have to remind everybody to email bigdamcontact@gmail.com.
We have to take a visit...
No, wait, no, come on.
To the cheat corner.
Oh, for piss's sake.
And if you've been watching Adventures in Backlog and you'll know that I've been playing Red Dead Redemption on the PlayStation 3.
Relevant.
And lovely cheat codes do indeed exist for that game.
Very current. That game from 2007.
Use those cheat codes. You gotta go into options and you gotta go into cheats.
Don't do that.
And then
there's a cheats option.
Yeah, anyone's you've unlocked already, you can toggle them on and off.
What
so you don't have to enter it once, and you can access it any time you like.
Big Damn Cast on
Twitter.
Twitter.
What you got to do is
remember, you can hit us up anytime.
BigDamnContact@gmail.com.
See you guys next week for a new Big Damn Cast. Adventures in Backlog throughout the week as well.
Want to get a
channel. Chris Play videos on the way. Stay tuned to Twitter. We've got some free stuff soon. And we'll see you next week.
I wish I would
Turn this off. Recording on that set. I don't know where the off button is. I think I should just make a noise to turn it off.